Who wants to show me a fucking recap? Let's see this really quickly. Did we have a brilliant move on here? I didn't really use anything. You played 22%. But see, these were only against viewers and stuff. 10 games, 1 day, 2 days, something, 2 games. Best win against a 957. This was the most popular chess meme of the year. What does that have to do with me, dude? What an amazing year in chess. 10 games played, 2 games won. Low standard of amazing. Okay, here we go. Stars. 133. And challenge. Do a little unranked. Not that it really matters too much, but whatever. Great stats. Even worse than my normal ones. I guess now this isn't even like a Smurf or an alt account. It's literally the only account I have. Oh yeah, I do like this arcade animation though. I wish they had a mod for that on Lit Chess. As much as they have so many exceptional other ones. All the boards and the custom pieces and all this kind of shit. Now this is where I get a little confused with the thing. Like where you really want to put your bishop here. You can't really put it there unless you want to put it here, which I find that kind of awkward, but sometimes that is actually considered a good thing to do. The other knight is like woefully undeveloped here, so let me see. Getting a bishop pair is like such a fool's errand sometimes, where you can just never really do it. You can do it like this because the other side is totally not needing an open file or anything like that. So let's just do it all cute like that. We can always castle. We can always just develop the knight. I often develop knights super early and almost just right off the bat because I always feel like that was actually a very stupid move because I should have just I covered up the cover of the queen. Like take would have been better. Maybe this isn't so bad, but that was just like an unnecessary move where the knight, as usual, always gets in the way. Maybe I paid the price for my lack of development, as I always say, but he doesn't even do it. He wants to open that diagonal. I'll let him have it. I'm kind of playing so fast and so sloppy, but it's not too bad. He has this. He's going to bring something this way. He can easily take it. We could attack it here, which is kind of still pointless, but he's not really doing anything else. We go ahead, we bring the rook outside. He's 1348, which is right where I was actually when I failed. Well, I got to 1350 and I was like a month ahead of schedule. And then as usual, I guess I get cocky or something and I fuck up and I lose like 10 in a row or something crazy. Or it wouldn't even have to have been 10 in a row, but whatever. I lose a ton in a row. And then I'm able to actually, whatever. Now this is weird because if he takes, I take. If he takes, I still take. So the knight's going to be guaranteed to be there no matter what, even though it's not a necessary move to make. Like, I'm almost just trying to flex with the knight just to try to make it feel useful in some way. Knight variation, French defense, of course. I totally know what all these things are. I kind of dislike that it even does that. It gives somebody the impetus to look that shit up if they feel like, yeah, you should have a cat as your profile picture, not a dog. You can't even see really what that is, but okay, this is good. You can't really do anything about it. In fact, this is God tier. I actually already won the game because it's an octopus knight, except he could dislodge it with the one piece and one piece only. So now what you'd like to do basically is you'd like to trade the light square bishop for the knight. That way you can guarantee that this octopus knight is safe, because otherwise this is the next level strats and thoughts you got to think about. This is a great thing, but you're not going to be able to guarantee to keep it, only because you're not going to be able to prevent the knight from being effective. So this is the one rare case where actually I would feel like trading the bishop for the knight, because that's where it's kind of fool's gold. Like, what does it do? You can't push it out with the thing. You can't trade down for it with anybody, but you don't have to because it doesn't matter. If we create a little double stack situation here, it could be a little bit interesting for sure. That was an interesting one as well. but it maybe doesn't work as well as he thought, or now we have a situation here. But the question is, can he even attack it with anything? He would take, I would take. We got to watch out for the little knight over here, which he can't move. He moves it back, not a big deal. Let's just move the king because I'm getting nervous about that. Whatever. No, this is still fine. Octopus knight position. I could take, can't take. I could put this here. So the play there would have been like if he left it where it was, I could have double stacked and then took, and then if he took, I could have double took with the rook in front. So I would have took, and then took with the queen and checked. But of course, he's not gonna let that happen. But I could have took this basically for free because he couldn't have moved this, and the king wasn't even there, so it's not like it would have been a check or something. So you see how every game is pretty much even. I haven't played particularly well, and it's a little bit sloppy. Oh, he's trying to talk here. Stop yapping. It was a free bishop. But how? How is it a free bishop if I... What are you talking about? Where? I guess we'll see in the analysis. It's not free though because he traded. So if he trades that, so how can I take the bishop if then I would just ignore the rook, so it's not the same thing. You can do a cute little double stack. I think he's wrong, but neither of us are going to make a mistake like that, so obviously. Now we have almost the same situation available. The cute little thing is here as far as the ability to do this here, like just the knight's in a great octopus position. You should be able to take. He's got too many covers to take. This is at least a good high level match, I guess. So now you can't really do anything with that. Don't really want to put it there. This one ends up not really working. Gotta see, like, where do we really want to go with this? We got to keep it in line with here. Just because... I'm going to keep the octopus knight thing alive, but now he has an easy sequence. You take, then you take the pawn. So like, even when I make a mistake or something like that, it's always very obvious to me. I just don't have the patience to... Back more, I'll look at it after in the analysis, which I'd probably have to pay for to see, but I think it gives you like one free. That's the advantage of only playing one game a week, a month, a year on this fucking site. I don't even have anything against the site, but everybody always shits on it by comparison to... This is the most obvious move in human history, so I don't know what he's doing so long. Fucks up my whole pawn structure here, pretty obvious. He doesn't even do it. He gives me the chance now to undo it, actually. Or no, it's still not because... Like what if I just ignore it? I let him have it. The problem is you're gonna get back range or some shit here. Like, this is a lost cause, so you shouldn't even worry about it because no matter what happens, he's gonna take it with the knight. Like, okay, I'll go here and just try to take something else, but the problem is the act of him doing that is going to mean that he can probably do something else. Like, he'll take here and then he'll check here and then I can't do anything. Basically, I'm just gonna have to come back, which now actually is bad because I'm not going to be able to come back. Because now you'd have to go... No, yeah, I mean, he should take with the queen, basically, is the point. So losing this is not a big deal, because he'll go here, I'll go here, and then he'll mate my dumbass. Or he'll go here, and then I'll go here, and then if he goes there, I can go there, and then he'll have to figure out something with the knight, which is not always the most useful thing in the world, so... You can just keep eating up my pawns. I assume that's good, but I don't know. Because I don't know what his knight can immediately do here, is the point. Like, you go there. Okay, that was a mistake. Okay, just go there. Or wait, now you can't do it. Or it's almost like if the queen was anywhere else, you could have done something. Just like you could have put that there. So basically, if he just gets the queen to the back rank, it'd be good. But he'd have to back off first to do it. That's actually very lucky on my part. Like, just, well, whatever. Now he puts it there, he puts it there, he can't go there. Let's just ignore it and take his stupid thing. French defense, knight variation. So now what does he do? He just takes that and mates. The only way to do anything would be to basically... You'd have to connect the stupid thing. This octopus knight should have saved me in the end, but it's really not going to. You take there and it's over. I don't think there's anything I can do. Or can I like somehow give like a check chain and just troll him? I guess I really can't. See, that's not really such a strong... I fuck up a pawn there and then that I clearly see. I think that's an okay quality game, I guess, but it's still not really... Or wait, it doesn't have to be like that though. Wait, I didn't even have to do that. Or no, I guess I... Or would I don't know what happened. Would I have lost if I had just left it there? Because, yeah, I guess so, because... Actually, I try not to add friends on here because I act like I'm incognito or something, but no, I don't think there was a free bishop at all. Yeah, that was an average level game. He could have even took it there. These knights were kind of gluttons for punishment. That's a blunder, but why? That's a miss. What is it? Oh, okay, like this. I could have took and then took. Okay, I didn't see that angle at all. And then see, most of the way it's still fine. Great move. Wait, I was supposed to take though? I guess because it's worse for me if I don't. That was like it's either that's a brilliant. I don't see why that's even a brilliant move. Like what, you take a free pawn, or I guess to take it with the queen when you would assume that you might want to take it with the knight. So after the brilliant move, what happens? It's still not over as far as the evaluation, or maybe it's just taking long. That was a bad move. I was supposed to just go here, and then I probably would have been fine. First game in over a month is brilliant. Yeah. That sequence at the end there. See, like, this one pawn makes all the difference in the world. But what was I supposed to do here, then? I wasn't... No, I was supposed to do that, though. But how? You're supposed to just let him do that, and then... I guess where the queen is doesn't really matter right now. 1 day play streak. It's trying to make a daily quest out of fucking chess, too. Okay, see you tomorrow. Good game. Okay, so today is another recorded episode of chess. Not that it makes that big of a difference, but basically, partly because this week's episode was super short. I only streamed for like 10 minutes of chess. I just didn't have that time that day. I was preoccupied with getting some stupid cosmetic and magic. So that's like my Monday stream. So I missed out on my Tuesday one for chess, obviously. But I was doing this last week either way too. So like if there's, of all the games I could play in my own time, for what little time I have, it would have to be chess of all things. That seems kind of sad. Like that's what a chess midlife crisis looks like, I guess you could say. Just the fact that, you know, you're trying to put so much time as possible. But I guess theoretically I could do anything else this way too, just for the fuck of it. Like, I don't know, just something I don't normally have time for, I don't normally make a serious spot for. So basically, I've changed around my cosmetics a little bit. I guess I got bored of the other board, so now here I get to use a checkers board. I'm playing checkers while everyone else is playing chess, I guess it could be my title for my next stream. But basically, I changed that from the just whatever default ones. I often don't change my boards very much at all. But then I also changed my Star Wars piece set. Not that I couldn't use it with this one, but I've been using that for a while, so now I went back to the Chess 24 one that I used for a while. And I did really like this one. The one good thing that came out of Chess 24, I guess, is the actual piece set is pretty good. The only thing I don't like about it is like the white outline on the black pieces. The black outline on the white pieces seems fine, but it is a very nice set, and you can't even really play on Chess24, I guess. It was kind of like a tribute or the last remnant of it. The idea that you're able to, still, it's the one lasting thing that you're going to be able to ever see from it, because I think chess.com bought it out and got rid of clearly what would have been a fierce competitor. It's like nobody played it on there anyway. Always the joke, why is it called Chess24? Because that's how many people play on there. But basically the point is that, yeah, I think you can't even play on there anymore. You just use it for like news or messages or whatever. So yeah, last time on the recorded one, at least I did mostly where I was out playing simply, and actually you would think he's online all the time considering how good he is, but no, I outplayed a 2000 rated player who wasn't even BMing or anything, giving time odds or nothing. Or you know what you can actually do with this? So that shows you my sometimes streaky play, or maybe he's just not as good as he seems, but it seems kind of hard to believe. But the point is that I forgot. Yeah, it's almost like you don't want to take there, but I don't get it. He can take, and I could easily... He would take, I would take, he would take, I would take, he would still take. But it almost doesn't matter. Like, I don't care if he takes. Oh yeah, you can control this actually with your voice chat too, which is kind of silly. I actually did that for one episode at some point. Just like all your movements and stuff, you can say knight to f3 or whatever. The problem with that is my notation, I don't even know notation well enough to be... Oh, shit. I'm supposed to be taking this seriously, by the way. You have to know notation for that number one. It's just so ridiculous how I just never take it seriously. And people would somehow frame that as an excuse, but it's really not. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if you don't, then you lose because of it. That's a problem. I don't care about that pawn, really. And so I'll just do that. It's not really such a bad position, but I just don't get it. Like, why I just did that. I'm only -1 too as a result, but it was totally unnecessary. I could have just moved the knight back. Nothing triggers me more than the knight, just in general. Like how it's always just, it gets in the way, or you just put yourself at a disadvantage by trying to account for it a little bit. Now, if you could get this to move, it's a cute thing, because you could, like, double take. So, like, if he takes, then I take, but it doesn't matter because he can't move it anyway, or I can't take it anyway because this one's covered by the queen. That sort of scenario might work if you had been giving a check or something along with it. I guess the one way you can tell with this is always that there's no music, at least. That's the one sort of major difference. I'm trying to blunder yet another piece here. Give him another take towards the center, which arguably you should avoid that. But it's hard to really tell sometimes what you're trying to do with the pawns. The pawn play is one of the hardest things possible, especially at a low level, to try to understand what the fuck you're doing. So yeah, I mean, I'll try to fit these sort of sessions in when I can, but I don't know what else would I do? Like, just some other game that I can't... Just something like very time-consuming, I guess I could do. Although I don't really like this mic for those purposes. So you might say it's kind of wrong of me to... You know, like, oh, you don't have to stream every game you play or record every game you play. But that's like the combination of the whole midlife crisis thing that I was saying. Like, whether it be for chess, like I want to record every game in my journey or stream it so that I can show, like, once I become a grandmaster, like, oh, look how long it took and this is what it took and anybody can do it. And there'll be so many good moments along the way. So I'm almost doing it partly for myself in that way, but obviously it's a good thing to do. So it's not even like, oh, for content or for anything like that. But it's just like, if you're going to do it, you may as well do that, because I always used to stream, and so I had stopped for a couple years and then I came back to it. So it's the same with like anything I play. It's like I don't have as much time these days, so if I want to stream stuff and I want to play stuff, I may as well just combine the two. It's like, oh, I only have an hour a day to play stuff, and then I'd have to set aside another separate hour to stream stuff. So it's like, why not just combine the two and say like, okay, I'll stream and play the thing for that 1 hour, the same hour. And so anytime I play something, I may as well stream it. Anytime I stream something, I guess I'm already playing it, but like I may as well make the two into one because you only have so much time. It makes you appreciate that a little more, not that I wasn't working and stuff back then, but or whatever, like busy with certain things, but it's to the point where it's a good combination. Like if you enjoy doing both things and you're going to do both anyway, why set aside two different times? Why not just say what little time I have to even play whatever it is that I do, whether it be chess or this or anything else? It's just let you do it in such a way that you would let them do it in such a way that you could it's back to even again, but just kind of combine the two things that you like to an extent that oh wow I could have that's even what's so annoying about it too. I could have even just took with the pawn, like it's not even a big deal, but now I should try at any cost maybe not to trade something, but okay, it's a bad start. I just want to get back to the kind of range that I was at, like 15, 15, 50. Not that that's even impressive. And obviously 1700 in classical, but I don't even want to think about that because I don't have time. Like I said, if I only have an hour a day, right, then how the fuck you can go here? Like I can see it all playing out, dude. Like I don't want to trade, but there's nothing I can really do about it either. This is so stupid, man. This is what I don't like about chess in so many ways is that it's really my fault, but there are so many things like, oh, innately good, or you should study, or like people are innately genius or not, or, oh, you should study theory, and what about this opening, and what about... None of that matters, because like, look at what's happened this game. I'm not even doing anything. Like, at what point does it actually become where those things become relevant? Like 1800, closer to 2000, sure. It doesn't hurt to learn them at any point, but it's like, it just isn't necessary. Like, I hate when people use that to cover up for just the base element of what I'm showing. Like, you don't have to do any of that. You don't need to study. You don't need to know openings. You don't need anything. It just makes it easier, and it's kind of like a cheat code. But what you see both players doing here has nothing to do with that. It's just, can you actually just look at the board? Can you actually just not hang pieces? Like, how hard is that? What? Now, was that a mistake or was that... I don't know. Like, I can bring the rook here. Like, he keeps giving it back to me a little bit, too. Let's see if this is maybe too loud or something. I don't know why I'm always peeking when I'm so fucking... It's like you got to be a little farther away from... Like, it's... Oh, my God. I guess I was a lot louder than I even realized, but who cares? It's not really competing against anything, so it shouldn't feel that bad. I guess the idea is maybe... Let me see. Like, if I'm just farther back, I can't really lower the mic volume any more than what it already is. This thing is insanely sensitive, though. Like, I'm pretty fucking far away from it. I guess this one's just meant to be like a... I don't know, like a full room type of deal. So the good thing would be, I should have probably even gone here. Like, you can just bring the rook here. If you can bring the rook there, you're in great shape because you're able to basically... do it in such a way that you can do it in such a way that you're able to basically... I gotta watch this for a second, it's just annoying me. You gotta do it in such a way that you can bring the rook to give the check here, or you can give it a check here. Either one would be pretty good for me. His pieces are pretty active, but two of them are kind of in an awkward spot out of the way, so... I kind of like this one better, even though it might not be that much better. He can't actually give a check here, though, surprisingly. I have that pretty sexy check coming up, and there's really nothing he can do about it. The one thing I guess he could do is just move it there to the extent that this could still be a good thing. right? Like, it's not hurting. It's amazing how inactive his pieces are. This is like a masterclass in just, like, how can he be, well, he's not up by that much, but he was in a strong attacking position, but yet all his pieces are just kind of out of the way and weird, right? Like, he's definitely not, like, he's made too many passive, pointless moves. It's just like moving a pawn or something. You could bring the check here, which would be excellent. And so the point is that he should almost bring the bishop to cover that square or something. But yeah, if I give the check here, then he can't come there or he gets mated. If he goes there, he gets checked again and possibly checked again by the queen. So I'm very unhappy with this performance, but I guess it's the simple fact that you should probably just be able to do this, because he can't do anything. That should just be mate already. Or it effectively... Wait, what? Oh, did I fuck it up somehow? Because I felt like it almost was a mate. Or like if he blocks with the queen, then what if I take here? Because then if he takes... If he moves, I can take it, but if he goes here with the queen, this is like a puzzle moment, instructive. I take here, and then whatever he does, either he has to move and give me the queen, or he has to take it and therefore give me the thing anyway. As if he would know that and see that too. I mean, I'll just give a million checks. This game is kind of annoying me. He can block there, which would mean I wouldn't have been able to... Oh my god. These are the moments that piss you off too. It's like, why should it be this difficult to do anything? He's still seemingly can't give a check. His pieces are in like some weird purgatory type of element where it's just kind of annoying. But yeah, this is where I really struggle to find these like final things where I get kind of frustrated or I feel almost entitled. Like, look, I should just win just because I'm better, just because I'm whatever. Or not even better in terms of position, just naturally better, but... See, I shouldn't do it because you're in such a strong spot. Like, what if you go here, for example? You should be able to win the bishop, for example. What is going on, man? That's not even the greatest thing that could have happened there, but it's something. You get like a minor material advantage from it. He's not posing any threats, though. See, this guy struggles to attack even more than me. He's just so passive, and he's using his pieces in such a suboptimal, stupid way that it just doesn't seem to be very consequential. So that was an epic kind of comeback sort of win that I don't really accept. Or you know what, the real hard mode here too is that I'm using a touchpad. So the one time I did actually misclick again simply in a game that I'm objectively winning against a 2,000 rated player with no time odds and nothing. This is, you gotta almost do it like this, where you just click it. Okay, he's totally dejected now. I can't possibly lose. I don't like how I play though, because it just in general, not even like in this one game, it's just the fact that something's wrong. Like I don't have the, whatever you want to call it, like the clutch gene or the motor or the sort of effort, the extra little effort that you're going to put in here, where you're able to really just, I don't know. Like, the things I'm missing are just obvious things that you could argue in, like, oh, a longer game, I wouldn't miss them. But the fact of the matter is it doesn't matter because... But, I mean, hey, I won. I'm going to make my way back up here, but that should have easily not been a win. Like, see, all the endgame stuff I don't even care about because it's all about the beginning. If I can just play solid and accurate at the beginning, I swear there is some sort of psychological boredom that happens, like... And again, it's hardly an excuse. It's just like you have to overcome that. I don't enjoy openings. I don't enjoy that sort of stale, repetitive play that you have to deal with so much there. And that's true even in endgames to a degree. But holy shit. I don't know why it's so slow. Or it's because I'm doing it on a mobile hotspot. So I was actually losing pretty badly there. But that's only to be expected because I guess you know, that's a blunder. And I even said why it was a blunder. Or wait. Oh no, I guess I don't see it here why it's a blunder immediately. But he had some like better attack or something. But no, my whole thing is it was a blunder later when I don't do anything about it. Right, like I could have just moved the knight even, which seems kind of counterintuitive, but whatever. So yeah, he's winning by a substantial amount, but he doesn't know how to take advantage of it. Oh, that move I even questioned, like, why did I take that and let him take towards the center? That's why you can't trust those fundamental principles and logical razors all the time. Like, oh, taking towards the center is good, so therefore you shouldn't have done that trade because you shouldn't have allowed him to take towards the center. Or, like, double stacking isn't always bad. Like, it's hard to say. To make a couple blunders back to back. That's a blunder. And I just shouldn't have taken with the queen. I shouldn't have taken with the queen. Or wait, wait, what? He blunders, I take with the queen. Wait a second. It's telling me to do that, though. Oh, I could have checked and took then, which I ended up doing much later. So his other rook or whatever, his rook ends up back where it was, just there. Yeah, all this stuff is kind of less interesting to me. I guess the good thing with this is I can kind of take breaks a lot more. Why are you using like a Pokemon question mark there? Top 5 women's rising stars. You know, it raises a good topic for conversation. Like Sabrina Ienscu or whatever is playing against Curry in the 3-point contest. So everybody's having a seizure about that with respect to, look at that sexy octopus knight in the Mishka the Great versus, see, like, look at that guy. He's an FM, but he's 3,000 rated. That shows you how inflated or exploitable some of these things are. The fact that you can kind of flag people and do stuff with a mouse skill that you don't really have in terms of the physical skill of moving the wooden piece on the board. Like, it's so stupid. Free tournament broadcasting with chess cam. But yeah, like, chess is one thing where you definitely shouldn't even have women's exclusive events. I feel like that's kind of unfair. Isn't that kind of like special treatment if you were to look at it in the opposite way? Like, for example, why are there events that only women can compete in? Right? There are events that everybody can compete in, so it's not like you're stopping women from competing in normal events. Right? Like Judith Polgar always did that and made a point to do it, which is why I always respected her so much. She like rejected and shied away from all that kind of stuff. She could have easily won women's tournaments because she could have just won anything, period. She was just so good. But the point is that, you know, it's so stupid. Like, why should you have a special format just for you when you're acknowledging that you're obviously better? What? Why did he give up the rook there? That wasn't necessary at all, I don't think. I don't know, I'm just watching that game there. But the point, you're going to use up all my mobile data just looking at that fucking thing. I don't think it really costs too much, but basically there is a limit actually that I have of it, but I don't do this very often either. But the point is that basically one day we are going to see that thing that I hypothesized, like microtransactions for chess sets or chess pieces or something. So like chess.com will release all these different ones for cost. At least here you can do it for free, not even to the site's credit, but basically for the fact that you're able to do it in such a way that you can, what the fuck? They're making a lot of mistakes, I guess, just because of the speed of it, but these are 3,000 rated players. I think it just shows you whoever's the most. I always wondered how they determine that, but they often just show who the highest rated player is on there in some context. Or like even I was showing up one time, I think, in classical only because it's not that hard to be the highest rated classical player. Right? Like, look at that, 1993. Like, are you serious, dude? That could literally be me. That's a very low standard. Nobody plays this because everybody feels like everybody cheats or something, or at least at the highest level. They played each other before too, probably because they're the only two people up there in the 1900s, 2000s who even play. Over competitiveness. These fucking pictures that they use. But no, it's just the fact that, yes, the ELO. I saw Aka Nemsko or whatever, the female chess streamer. She's like doing a speed run of I didn't like even watch it because I don't like to watch stuff that I haven't played myself. But she's doing like a speedrun of Power World in some way, like getting the max level or something. Like it's at least good to see them branch out, I guess, a little bit, do things other than just strictly chess. But no, it's very interesting that you're able to chess game of the month for December though. Why are you showing that? It's February 1st. You should be showing January, no? What was I saying? Just the fact that it's almost like you need a break in between these fucking matches. It's just too much. But yeah, you can definitely game the system with classical, and I just haven't done a lot of it, and simply kind of stole some of my fucking rating there, just because that wasn't supposed to be a rated game against a viewer who's clearly better and whatever. Almost like the average classical game I would have anyway, though. But yeah, you have to take it in such a way that don't make any obvious mistakes or anything like that. Or, oh yeah, like the female chess player thing. They really should get rid of that, and it's actually it's a compliment. Opposite interpretation kind of concept that I talk about. It seems like a negative, like, oh, why should you get rid of these events? But you should, because everyone should just play in the same environment, which of course you're able to do that anyway. But it's like, you're not able to justify like why, unless you're saying that, oh, they're worse, so therefore they need like a special league or something. But there is no good logical justification for even saying that. So we'll go here. 1384. So this is quite a beautiful board piece set combination too. Just the fact that, you know what, I never do this normally, but it can work sometimes. Like, you really think that should work against a 1300 player? Like, are you like, this is what I mean? Like, oh yeah, haha, watch that clip of Alex Botez or somebody getting scholars mated. But like, how would you even know to try that? Because moving the queen there isn't a good move. So I mean, like, I like how in between the first and the second game, I sit there for 10 minutes just like recuperating and doing like a just chatting section of the episode. But then I get that as a win. Like, what's going on, dude? This is what you get. Like, it's so streaky and inconsistent. At least that's not the kind of mistake I would normally make. Okay, this dude's 1550, which means that even if I lost, not that you should think like that, when I win, I'm going to gain a very lofty amount of rating. But the point is that, yeah, let's try to do it again. Nobody would expect me to do it, so, like, when you win, you'll gain a lot. But even if you hypothetically were to have lost, you would not actually lose that much rating. This is a pretty bad matchmaking, actually, though, for it to be like 130, 120 more. That doesn't even make any sense. Or it seems to almost have some subliminal thing like penalizing you when you win a couple in a row. This is like something that some other game was accused of, like almost like match fixing. I can't remember what game it was, but like, oh yeah, like maybe Magic the Gathering or something, where it tries to always make it so that you can't win too much. So if you win a couple in a row, then it'll match you against somebody higher ranked by a lot or something. Or if you lose some, it'll try to give you a pity match where it's like easier or something. I don't get how exactly that would be done, but I don't think that they really do that, but or at least they certainly shouldn't do it. But this is gonna be. See, I want to move the knight there, but I feel like I just can't do it. He's definitely very showy with these pawns here. So he's got to do something with the knight. Now this one doesn't inspire much confidence because he would take, I would take, he would take, I would still take, but this one becomes a problem. So now you're double attacking those, and you're going to be pretty much guaranteed to take it. And so I almost see. I'm not thinking this through like all the way, or in any meaningful sense. I'm just doing it like. Now the pawn becomes very weak. Although he did open up the light square diagonal to that to some extent. So now if he lets me take, he would take, I would take. I can't even do the arrows really, so I just have to think it through. I would go here. He would take, and then it doesn't help me. Or it kind of does, because then I raise this, but then he would take, I would take. I don't know. If he takes, it's fine. If I take, it's also fine. I would take, he would take, I would take, he would take. It doesn't actually work, really. The goal is almost to try to connect these two so that you do have an anchor pawn for this one, but it's just not very likely to happen. That's kind of an impressively ambitious move. But I go here, he goes there, then I go here, he goes there. So there's no way to actually take advantage of that directly, and so therefore he's gonna take with the knight, I take with the knight, he takes with the knight, I take with the bishop, and then I could do the queen, but it doesn't seem to matter too much because of the simple fact that you could just he's gonna like try to push the bishop out, but the good thing at least with that is that you would have to kind of give up something in the way of your king pawn structure to be able to do that. But yeah, this is the subliminal psychological thing I talk about too with the whole volume thing. The idea that I'm not listening to music because, oh no, or at least I'm not playing music in the thing because, oh no, it would drain too much data from my mobile hotspot or whatever. But the thing that I am doing is that I'm basically doing it in such a way that I'm listening to it like on my phone or whatever in the background, just so that I'm able to kind of simulate that, oh, I'm like talking over something. So that helps me like balance my volume a little better. It's kind of a weird thing, but so now he's double attacking. He would take, I would take, he would take, I would take, he would take, I would still take. So I have to wonder, he's gonna bring this up to here, for example. It comes down to advanced level pawn play at this very high rating match. But this guy is basically where I'm striving to be a little bit. It's all about that one idea of this square that's going to come into play. So you might try to raise, and my thing is I kind of want to castle too as well. Man, this mic is very different than my other ones. It is kind of a shitty, cheap one, but it's like you're kind of in such a way that you're like very far away from it, which I'm not used to with my other ones, especially the Blue Yeti. You're supposed to be like super close to that. This is not a... See, it gets to the point where I can't even really explain what's happening or what I'm thinking. It's just too much. Like, it's too much effort at some point. I don't know. It's hard. But if it was easy, I guess everybody would do it. You can pin down that stupid knight with the rook here to the extent that... Now, it seems like a bait, like, oh no, if this happens, then I'm attacking the queen, but actually it's bad because of the fact that you'd actually be the one to still take. Like, he would actually be able to take mine because mine's not covered. So it seems like you're some sort of unleash onto the queen, but... And it might have still had value, though, because even if he took this, I could have took this, and then it could potentially be very good, too. Did I just miss this one, too? I could have just took... See, in his lust to push that pawn, he gave up a free take check. And so now that knight can't cover it either, so that could create problems for him. So he takes the pawn, then I could take, then he could take, then I could take, then he could take, then I could take, then he could still take at the end. But the thing is that he wouldn't be able to use it at least first, or as we go along. Which maybe doesn't matter. See, sometimes like this seems like a cute move, but it's maybe not necessary, or maybe the bigger mistake is just you kind of you gotta wait more for like the opportune moment of what you're trying to do with it. What you can do here is just try to, we can take advantage of this little check here, which I see no good reason basically not to do that. That move that he just did didn't seem to be consequential at all. So, unfortunately, doing this won't really accomplish much because of the fact that you're not able to really whatever. Now I'm just starting to take for the sake of taking, which is maybe not the best idea to do. I still haven't canceled, which is kind of shocking to think about. There's too much really going on that I almost can't even figure it out. I would take, he would take, if I take here, he takes there, I take there. It's like you could take this and then maybe take this, but you can't because I'm just taking everything. Now, if you get that knight to move, like even this, the problem is though you would take there too still. There's a lot going on with this position, but he's obviously going to put the rook like behind his bishop, so therefore, it's fine. So you better just back off of that. So a lot of action for really nothing, though. It's not like we're winning or anything because of it. I imagine White's not in a bad spot here, but I just can't take advantage of anything, really. It's like this sort of effect of like you play up or down to your competition. Whatever it is, at least I'm making the guy sweat a little bit. How many hundreds of games must he have played to get there? Almost 1,000. And of course, you'll see that I'm even higher in classical, but that just means I'm slow. But in this context, I'm not actually that. So, like, look how hard we're both trying, though. We're actually sweating, getting heated, which is why I don't really buy the whole thing of sometimes sort of the innately gifted sort of argument. Sure, there's an element of that, and some people obviously are, but it just doesn't play as big of a role. Like, you wouldn't know or it wouldn't matter until a very long time. Or like, oh, this guy started playing at 5, and by the time he was 8, after studying for 3 years, now he's a 2,000 player. It's like, cool, but how many people do that? You know what I mean? You would have to have the same experience. Or everybody, like, I hate that one fallacy that you'd basically be able to look at where if you're able to do it in such a way that everybody would have to play chess. Oh, I fucked up because if he takes with the queen, then he'd be setting up to take with this too. Like, I could take the knight, sure, that's cute, but it doesn't work because fuck. I was assuming only he would take, I was assuming only he'd take with the knight. No, he might take the pawn, but the better move is, oh, I can't believe I lost like that. That's going to be the difference right there. Yeah, I try to do something a little cheeky, a little fancy. That is unbelievable to me. Wow. Look at him go, dude. Doesn't necessarily mean it's over, but I don't even know what's happening now. He doesn't have a clear mating sequence unless somehow the knight can do something crazy. That is unbelievable, though. Like, I played so well, actually. So solid. That is insane. Like, is this really what we're looking at as far as... Oh my god. Like, our expected desired level of play. Like, this is insane, dude. But then again, this is where I'm working to try to get to 1550. I still shouldn't lose, though. Somehow, some way I can draw it. But no, there was no excuse for that. I was in a good spot, and then I tried to do something fancy. If he had took with the knight, right, then I could have took with the thing. I could have, like, took this and then took this, that would have been a trade, so it wouldn't have mattered. But it would have meant that, I guess, I don't know why, like, just the fact that he took with the queen allowed him to then also threaten the uncovered thing. The uncovered, whatever. So this only seems bad if I raise the pawn, because then you'd be able to take this. I don't know, man. So you could double stack the rooks on either file here. I almost want to do this one, therefore if you ever move the knight I can double take. And even leading into a mate situation, because there's nothing. I guess you could do something with that. He's going to try to double stack the other way, which would be interesting because you could do it in such a way that you could do it in such a way that you'd basically be trying to like if I go here, right, he has too many things attacking it, but he would take, then I could take that. Or he would take, then I would take, then he would take, then I would take, then he would still take. But somewhere along the line, okay, I would go here. Then he takes with the rook, but that's already good. But at any point, if he takes with the knight, it's good. So if I do it here, then he takes with the knight, take, 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 take. Something good is going to happen. Is it doesn't matter about the number of covers. If he takes with the knight at any point, it's trouble. And if he moves the rook to double stack, then I can take the knight, which actually isn't that big of a deal, but now let's give this guy the fight of his life. Like, I don't know what 1500 rated chess is. I guess it's just my own delusion or expectation that it should be some lower level than what it actually is, but he'll take with the queen, which is actually what I just said, but I don't understand. I just said that. Like, what the fuck? Okay, we're still in a reasonable spot. We have the back rank mate potentially incoming. If he moves the knight, if he doesn't move the knight, I take it. He covers with the queen. I can't attack it with my queen, unfortunately. It's more about the back rank possibility that really comes into play here. Right, and so you'd be able to basically do it here. Because I would take, he would take, I would take, but he could just choose not to take. That's kind of the problem with it. To the extent that you can just like I go here, I would take, he would take, like I would take, he would take, I would take. So it's not about the knight. It's not about the knight. It's about the other pieces here that we're choosing to target. And the reason why that's so relevant is because you're attacking both technically an uncovered piece here, because even if you were to take with the knight, it wouldn't matter. See, that's the beauty of it. So we're attacking the knight, and then we're attacking this. So if I take the knight, well, whatever, the queen's there, but so if I took this is the beauty of this play. I take this, if he takes with the queen, I take with the thing, and then I mate. And then I mate. Because if you take with the queen, if you take with the rook, I take, and then then it's over. Then it's over. You took with the queen, but then I took. It's over. What? But I still, even then, okay, I take the rook for free. I take the rook. So either way, I get like a material back. It didn't work exactly the way I thought, but you have no choice but to put the queen there. And then I don't know whether I should trade that or not. Because now, oh no, I have to, because if I don't, then he's going to take the thing with the bishop. Holy shit. So at the very least, you go there, I would take, you would take, I would take. And then it's a rook versus whatever we got here. I don't know why that took him so long. He's just in disbelief over the moment. I still thought I would get the mate. I didn't realize that his queen would actually be able to do that, but it at least allows me to cheat death a little bit. Like, we just have to not blunder any pieces here. I'm fine with just like rapid fire trading. So we attack both. Look what a god tier moment that is. But can I still not do anything about it because of the simple fact that no, you didn't even lose though. That's dumb of you. You could have brought this like here, and so therefore you're fine because I can't take either one. Like why did they let me off the hook? Look what an insane game. Like, what is this game, dude? All I want to see is that, okay, that's like a 2000 rated game. I guess my definition of 2000 is very underwhelming, but something's wrong with that, man. Like, I didn't even deserve to win that one, but that was insane. That was nuts, dude. You cannot, a normal person cannot do that. Like, if you're just playing for the first time, like, that's insane, dude. I don't know how people do this. Like, that's what I always ask. Who are these people? This is not some normal human being who's just playing chess after like a day of work. This is somebody who's committed. I mean, I guess you can see that even in time. I guess I'm expecting like, 1500s are playing like their first game ever or something that they would see. He was even winning there, then I was winning there. He was even winning at the end, which doesn't even make any. Or no, never mind. I'm stupid. But it's not by a substantial amount at all. It's still draw territory. Yeah, I even said that. Like, it works. Normally, this would be bad, right? Because, oh no, you're attacking two uncovered pieces. You can only save one of them. But because you can do this, then there's nothing I can do because, you know? And I'm not going to win if he plays it right. Like, a 1500 is pretty much guaranteed to do. Now, maybe I shouldn't push my luck here too much because I've almost had enough already. But the good thing with this is we get to keep getting this little incremental amounts of rating, and so now we'll come back on our normal scheduled programming, or maybe I could do it a different time before then, and then we get to flex the fact that we're basically able to do it in such a way that, all I'm basically doing is recovering rating that I already had before too. People might say, oh, you care too much about the rating, or it doesn't matter, but it matters to the extent that I at least want to beat my head against a wall in a new territory that I haven't been before. It doesn't make sense that we do it in a way that we've already done it. Like, we've been through this road before. Where you got to like 1540. That wasn't provisional. That's just a legitimate straight up thing. Where you get to, I was 1500 when I like left the site. When I left the site, I was but the learner. Now I am the master. So let me see if I have the energy to maybe do another one or something. But that was at least a suitably epic game. Like that, this is what you play 1500 rating for. All right, let me do one more with the time that I have here. Make sure I analyze the last one. I like to analyze everything just so it shows up in like insights or whatever. No, like that game was actually fun though from the perspective. It doesn't matter even that I won or lost or whatever. That was like something's different. You know what I mean? You can just tell that's not a normal game. That's not a normal opponent. 1550 notwithstanding. That's like too much, bro. Like you're trying a little bit too hard over here. Trying so hard to be mediocre. Like that's what you call living a normal middle class life in society. Never mind in any sort of chess context. Like you're trying so hard for so little. Like the Android 18 line to Vegeta. So sad to work so hard for so little. You can do that. You're kind of committing a little bit too much to the self-pinning for immortality Ding Liren style. Basically, it doesn't matter though because I don't like that pawn move, but I don't know. Like, there's too many things I do that are experimental, and that's the number one thing that's bad about chess as a game, objectively, is like there's too many things you do for fun or it's interesting or you want to be creative or inventive or your natural instinct, but none of it matters. Don't do any of it because it's not theory, it's not good. So I can appreciate that the desire of people to, theorize everything and take it seriously that way. But I don't like that that's the only way that it's perceived that you can like play the game or that there's no sense of discovery. Like just let somebody do what they're gonna do. That's kind of an irritating move. That's why you don't move the queen too much in the early goings here. He could put it there, and that's a very strong move because because of the simple fact that you really can't do anything about it. You'd almost have to keep going with the pawn or something. Like if he goes knight to h4, I'm not too happy about it, because that creates too strong of a threat here. I don't want to take with the pawn. I want him to take with the pawn so I can do this, and then it doesn't seem as bad, even if this pawn does seem kind of bad. Like this whole king-pawn structure is not very good for me. All I ever wanted was like just to play to a max potential, to the extent that, you know, I hate that half-ass thing that I do. It's not my style of doing things, right? If I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna put max effort in it, but I don't. That's the thing. This is kind of fucked up. He's putting so much pressure on this that there's actually nothing I can do about it. Like I could put the king there, but that doesn't even seem really worth it. I might just have to do this. I don't know. I don't like it, but I can't figure it out. It's such an insanely pressurized position just with that one pawn. That's okay, because he can't go anywhere with it, right? He'd have to switch the position of those. If he goes here, he goes here, I go here, he would go here, I could take... That might be worth it to do. Right, he's going to end Pazan, but it's still okay. I can kind of clean this up a bit. And so therefore... If he moves that knight, that could be trouble for him. He can give the check here, but I can simply move. I can just simply sidestep it. The king's got juke kind of moves over here. No big deal. Right, this is a lot less threatening than what it looks, unless you could do the yo-yo off the side. Like where you can keep going a little further. We got to use our inspect element hacks over here. So I haven't developed the other side at all, so that's my one lacking in this position. And this could be a little bit... could be a little bit concerning, but I don't know, actually. I almost just want to move my darks for bishop for the fact that it's just kind of a little bit awkward. And the act of moving it here would unleash the ability to double take his light square bishop. So it's actually a very dangerous spot, right, that he's allowed himself to be in. I didn't see that move at all. Like, I don't even know what that move was, dude. What? What was that? Okay, that just didn't even process in my brain. It's important not to get tilted by those kind of moments. So, like, it's okay, I'll still figure it out somehow, even though that's a ridiculously bad mistake. So we're attacking the one knight, but the knights are connected, which is not really much of a good synergy. Not nearly as good of a synergy as, like, bishop pairs or anything like that. The best version of a knight is a solo knight that's just an octopus by itself. Man. I'm getting outplayed in each of these 3 games, but I can still somehow clutch it out. You know, theoretically, you could take here. Because if you don't... Because whatever you do, I'd take the light square bishop. And so that would be pretty cute. And then you can't even move your knight. Because of the simple fact that... You can't even move the knight, because then I would just take the queen. If only that pawn wasn't there, I could have actually done something with it. Or, like, I could go here. But then you go here is the problem, too. You can't do anything with that. Really, what I just have to do is this fucking light square development. I don't know why it's so difficult for me. I almost shouldn't leave it there now, but I wouldn't mind trading the queen. Like, the pressure is kind of all gone, though. Like, he can easily just let me do it. I always like to create these little cheeky threats, as I call them, just, they're not really doing anything, but they kind of just look cute or whatever. Which is often what other people do too at this rating. It's not like we're seasoned offensive pros that they can do that. But that's always the story you hear too. It's like, what would I compare it to? It's like in a card game. If you're climbing up the ladder in any meta, you want to go with an aggro deck at the low ranks just to kind of breathe through it, so you don't have to waste time, whether win or lose. Then you transition to a mid-range deck around like whatever, some upper tier, and then once you get to the absolute highest level, you have to go to control. So it's the same thing with chess. Like when you're a low-rated chess player, you want to just play aggressively. You can get away with it because nobody can do anything about it. But then at that point, you would basically decide to play more defensively and more complex positions because you feel like you have to, because of the simple fact that you're going against better opponents. But you can speed run basically the low ratings of chess by playing super aggressively, kind of, if you're good enough and gifted enough and whatever the case may be. So there is a certain merit to that. So he's got the one there, which is not something I really expected to have happen, actually. I'm a little bit concerned about this because I don't know if there's going to be some sort of queen check knight combination that would allow him to, I don't know. It wouldn't be mate even if I did that there, if I checked with the queen on the, if I go here, is there a check? That's the only question. Is there a check that you can do with the knight? And there isn't, actually, at all. So what is he going to do? Just like a threefold repetition? He could take the other... He could take the other thing here. So you go here, but it's still not mate, but then I could go like here, and then it's probably still not mate because you can block or something. You have to have this willingness not to get bored or fed up. Like, oh, I don't want to calculate 20 moves ahead, but you kind of have to, right? So if you're really that conscientious and hard working about it, you have to have like this psychotic obsession with like, oh, I don't want to lose, even though it's just a fucking board game on a virtual board or whatever you want to look at it. This is kind of cute. And that shouldn't really affect the position at all either. As far as like, unless he can check in such a way that he would be able to take, which I don't know exactly how that's going to happen. You can check there, which that I didn't really foresee. But the thing is, it shouldn't even still matter because I'm just worried about the knight check more than anything. Okay, I should almost just go back then. I'm not happy with that. Okay, dude. Okay, relax, relax. It's not that big of a deal. I'm +2. You can do whatever you want. I'll take the pawn. I kind of had pretty bad development, especially on the queen side, to the extent that you're able to basically just... even to the extent that he'd be able to cover back with the knight doesn't matter because you're still taking a better piece in doing that. So that's like a free movement of the pawn, which isn't even that good because I'm probably not going to be able to do anything with it. Probably the better move might have been just to go to here to f6, to the extent that, ooh, shit. To the extent that you're able to basically... No way. No way. No, dude, no. No. That's impossible. Hmm. No, but you should be able to vacillate between the two spots. Even if you go there, I should be able to go back. Or worst case, I could take the stupid knight. Right, so if you want to do a threefold repetition like that, I thought he had me made it there, which maybe he would have. Like if I'd gone there, he goes there, but then I can still go somewhere else. But that would be the play that you would like fork it with the cover. Right, so maybe there's a way to... Fuck. Yeah, what if he did that there? I don't even know. I guess I would just take the knight. The thing you can't allow him to do is fork with the pawn, obviously, so that goes without saying. He's getting attacked here. So if he does it here, then I go here, then he gives a check here, then I take there. Then he would keep going, but then I can probably figure it out at that point. And this is pretty good for the sense that you can obviously even cover that there. Again, my development has been pretty bad. I mean, that's worth it, because what's he going to do? That's the thing. What's he going to do? He's going to take the rook, and then I just take the pawn. So what's the big deal? Like, that's fine. And then I just have to finish developing. This is going to be potentially an issue. I just have to be careful with this stupid ass thing. With the pawn here, but maybe there's not much I can actually do about it. He'll come here and he'll attack the thing. There's nothing I can do to save this. Oh my god. What I'm almost trying to do is stay attached to this so he can't come to the back rank, but I guess I can't really do that. If he goes here, it could be problematic only from the perspective that you're able to... Look how much work the knights really take, though, to do anything. This is unbelievable how hard these games actually are, though. Or what the only hard part is the fact that I'm expecting them to be easy, which I shouldn't. Just give me one turn to fucking... Oh my god. Okay, okay. I don't know, man. He's not really even doing anything. It's just annoying as fuck, man. Whatever, this is the last game I'm playing for now, regardless of the outcome. If he brought his rook to e8, that could be very problematic, because then you can't move the knight, or the thing. I could try to cover it with the bishop, like somehow on that diagonal. That would therefore cover the rook, and therefore allow you to move the knight, because then it would be covered even on the back rank without the other cover of the rook. He could have also taken the pawn on h6 anytime he wanted. So he's in a pretty good spot, despite me apparently having the material advantage, which it doesn't really feel like. But he almost couldn't win in a normal sense. Like if I just traded rook for rook, and then I trade pawn for pawn, it doesn't really happen to the extent that where you can actually win, right? You could get a insufficient material type of outcome. But he's letting his time sink away, which might actually be good for him, because he might come up with something good here. So many of these are like I'm cheating death in a way that I don't like, where I'm not really playing well, but I'm getting away with playing badly. I'm like the Milwaukee Bucks this year, like where their record is still good, but they're still playing bad defense, and they're not really playing well, but yet they still have one of the best records just because of their raw talent, so they can get away with it. But it's not enough, because when it comes down to a really tough competition, you're not going to be able to get away with that. Although somehow I did against the 1550, so that was at least a ridiculous matchup. And even if I had lost, it's like you don't have that much to lose, because I doubt you would lose much rating for it. Man, this is getting annoying, though. This bro is just too much for me. Not even that he's too good, he's just too slow. Like, I can't deal with that. Like, fuck it, dude. I can't do this. Just do what you want. At least this allows you to open up the fucking rook, for God's sake. As long as you can't check and take it here. How are you going to do this with 59 seconds? Like, do you know who I am in this game? Do you know who you're playing against? Like, there are many things you could do in life, right? You could go to the moon, you could fucking terraform Mars before Elon Musk does, you can become a doctor, a lawyer, anything, but you cannot beat me in this game with 40 seconds left. It's just not going to happen. It's literally impossible. It's pretty even in terms of time most of the way. Like, I'll admit that I have no idea what I'm doing either, but he made a mistake by allowing this rook to be freely developed despite my very strong unwillingness to do that. A couple of these games, like, they're not even losing and they either resign or give up, or like this guy's just going away. It almost doesn't even make any sense. Like, there's no way that you should be getting mated here, right? I don't think. If he does it, I'll give it to him, but it shouldn't be, really. Because now you're threatening the rook. Then he goes there. Then you can go here. That's good, and it won't be like a draw by insufficient material in any sense, to the extent that you can easily do this now, because if he trades or doesn't trade or whatever he does, right, you would easily be able to promote here. So there's nothing to even worry about. There's no stalemate possibility. And so you should easily be able to anchor those pawns, ride them like a car. But I like that structure where you get like 1, 2, 3 pawns like this connected past pawns, although you like that because you're probably going to win, because that shouldn't happen against any competitive even matchup. But then you just kind of ride it like a car with the king there as the cover. So you just raise 1, then raise 1, then raise the king. Like, it's a very almost comical, stupid thing, but it's happened to me at least a few times. So yeah, that's good enough for this session. I did gain a decent amount of rating here. Basically like 30 something, 33 maybe. So if we get to the 40 mark, that's not bad. We're making some amount of progress. Maybe I'm getting some kind of rhythm, but I don't know. And it's always fool's gold, because you can go on good streaks or bad streaks just because you don't really know what you're doing, so you're getting away with knowing it, not knowing, or you're getting punished. Like, see, every single one you're losing like that, but you get away with it. You're just somehow able to cheat death and do something suboptimal, but make it look like it's not so bad. 49.9, it couldn't even give me a 50% there. Current streak is 5 games, which almost doesn't seem right, because how can that be? Oh, because I didn't even play on here on the other day, so I thought I didn't win that many in a row, though. Didn't I get like a draw or a loss or something? How could it be 5? I guess I did 3 like just right now, though. Okay, so today is another one of those recorded kind of sessions that I'm doing. Not that I shouldn't really have to say that every single time, but just so you know, it's kind of the same idea. It's just so you know it's not actually live on stream, for whatever that's worth. And we're not listening to music. That's one way you can tell. And the mic is kind of scuffed. But the secret with this, I guess, you just have to stay like a little further back than what I'm used to. So I made a couple changes to my setup that I'm almost just testing out. I had to get a USB hub for this setup. So basically I have 3 setups to recap. So one of them is kind of the main one that I used to do a while ago, where I have like a Shure MV7, and that's kind of like a little better setup with a lot of other resources there. That's where my consoles were. Then my other setup is like at my house, and that's like a little bit mid tier. It goes from top tier to mid tier to scuffed. So we're in the scuffed one right now, which is in some other place. But like we don't even have internet. We're using a mobile hotspot, things like that. See, this turns into like almost just a just chatting thing where I'm giving you my whole background and stuff. But basically, what it is it's a case where the middle setup we're using my old Blue Yeti mic, which is still okay. And other than that, the setup overall is okay. Then this one's kind of scuffed. We're using like a dollar store garbage kind of mic that you get from like Walmart quality shit. And I wasn't even using a mouse or a keyboard. I was just using my touchpad on there. This is my other kind of alternate laptop that I don't really use for too many things anymore. So all those things considered, not that you really need a top of the line setup for chess of all things, but it kind of is a good analogy to my overall setup over the years, like even back in the day, or even when I came back to streaming in 2021. It's the idea that like whatever I have, I'll just kind of go with, even if it's scuffed, and I'll just deal with it. And then gradually over time, I'll start to add stuff. So I'll be like one day, like in 2021 October, I just said, oh, I feel like streaming. I want to do this Luigi's Mansion thing, right? The super hard mode, whatever. And so I just do it, even though my setup is scuffed, even though I hadn't done it in years, even though I didn't know that I was coming back for good. And I just enjoyed it so much that I did come back for good, but I just kind of did it on a whim. So it's kind of a good life lesson. Like if you feel like doing something, you're like, oh, but I don't have the equipment for it. I don't have the time for it or resources for it. Just do it, wing it, even if it's not perfect. And then you can always, iterate and improve it later on. So and that's always like a good philosophical thing. Like, oh, you want to be a musician, but you didn't have the right guitar, or you want to be some kind of a whatever, like an artist, but you didn't have the right brush. It's like if you really want to do it, you'll find a way, and you won't use that as an excuse. Like, oh, just you want to be a grandmaster, but you need a better chess set or something to be able to play it. Like don't make excuses if you actually are committed to doing something. But no, it sort of it mirrors the incremental thing. Like I go from using the touchpad and all this. Now I had to get a USB hub for my thing because this only has 2 USB ports. It's like a comedy of errors sort of thing. So then I was going to get a pop filter, but they didn't have any there. But I got the USB hub, so now I can put the mouse and keyboard in there and use it as at a distance. So what the scuff thing that might result from that now, you try to unscuff the setup, but then you introduce like a new level of scuff in a different way as a byproduct, is that now you'll hear probably the mouse clicking and stuff, and maybe the keyboard typing. Not that I'll really be typing too much, but let me actually see it against this. You can see it show up a little bit, but that's almost nice. I don't mind it with this. It's almost like an ASMR keyboard sound type of thing, or it adds like a little nice ambiance that might be appreciated by some people. I've seen that in comments like of ASMR videos, like, oh, I appreciate that the mic is scuffed. I appreciate that you can hear shit in the background. It makes you feel more organic somehow, instead of this over the top, Botez film quality mic and setup and background and everything. Some of these camera qualities are so insane that it looks like you're watching a movie or something, or like a TV sitcom or whatever, like where it's like glossy and it has like this light over it. That's what the sitcom Friends felt like where it always felt like there was this big bright light on everybody's face in a way that's very, you could say that's true in every sitcom, but it was very conspicuous there, where it was almost like too much, where like the characters don't really look like the actors. It's kind of weird. Everything looks kind of fake, almost as fake as the sense of the humor itself. But basically that's the main complaint compared to series like Seinfeld or whatever, that it feels kind of less organic. But basically, yeah, it's like this glossy feel that everything is like covered up and there's almost like something on the lens. So let me test the mouse for a second here. I'll just play like one game here. But also what I was thinking about because of this setup is, or basically what I was saying is that, yeah, every couple months I would add something. So over the course of time, since I came back, even like I probably spent $2,000 or something more on the setup, but every couple months. So I started off, I just did it. Then I eventually I got a new capture card so I could do something on console. Then I got like some other thing. Every couple months I'll just kind of keep getting something. So even for this third setup now, I just got a mouse and keyboard for it. I just got a hub for it. So I keep gradually getting stuff over time. So over the course of 2 years, yeah, that's like $2,000 down the drain. But I won't count even like the computer for itself for that, because that's something I presumably would have anyway, even if maybe it wouldn't be quite as good or whatever, right? That's something you would have no matter what. But yeah, you incrementally add whenever you get the chance. Every 3 months, I'll get like a little something here, little hub, little port, little whatever, improvement, pop filter. So let me test the mouse. So it definitely is showing up there. And now I'll have to reiterate again. In a couple months, I'll get a mouse that's silent for this one, so that then I'm able to whatever do it a little bit easier. But no, I'm almost playing into the scuff with this one, because it's like we're recording it, we're playing chess, we're doing you'll hear the ASMR keyboard and typing and all this kind of stuff. Okay, let me test the keyboard now. Actually, it doesn't seem to be picking that up. Let me try again. Yeah, it's weird that the mouse is so much louder than the keyboard. So yeah, that maybe I don't have to worry about getting a silent keyboard. But yeah, and there's no music, no audio. So the one thing this was making me think about doing, because I've never really recorded stuff too much, I always just like to do it live if I'm gonna do it. It opens up something that I didn't think about really, but anything that's sort of banned on Twitch, like the game Hatred or adult only stuff, I guess I could do those in this context too, like not just chess. So maybe sometimes I'll do a game like that. And the reason why is because I wouldn't be able to do that on Twitch anyway. Because if it was something I could do, like some other random game, if I could do it on Twitch, I may as well just do it there, and I feel bad for not doing it. But if it's an adult only type of thing like that, then I feel like, okay, I wouldn't be able to do it there anyway. I would have to record it, so I may as well do it in this context. Right, I don't need my perfect normal setup for it. That's kind of a good tie. And any sort of adult only thing, I think Yandir Simulator is one of them. I think that possibly there's a whole bunch of ones that whatever's banned for whatever reason, I could do that. And presumably I could upload it to YouTube and not get in trouble for that. Because I think I've seen references to stuff like that where it's not restricted in that way. I just probably would have to flag it as mature. But the idea is that, yeah, it gives you a good excuse to do that. That's not stuff that I would normally do probably, but it's still interesting to think like, oh, that's the only way I'd ever be able to do it, because I can't stream it anyway. So I would have to record it, so I may as well do it here if I'm going to do that. So it gives me other options to do. So it's like its own format, right? Like the Twitch banned games category is one of the options I can do here. I'm not going to do stuff that isn't banned or would be playable there, because I would rather just do it here is kind of the point. Or I would rather do it live. And that opens up a whole nother can of worms. So what a weird thing that of all the games to play in this context, in the scuffed context, it would be a game like Hatred or whatever other adult only things there are. So yeah, it opens up that possibility, but it also gives me kind of like an excuse to do it in such a way that, you know, I wouldn't normally have thought, like Postal or something. I'd have to look up what kind of other things there are like that. Let's actually go over a list of them just for the fuck of it so we can kind of decide. The problem is that a lot of them will have to do with sexual stuff, and I'm not really interested in that. There's probably a lot of good games that happen to be, you know, adult only, but it might be for other reasons, like it's some artistic purpose or it's just a little graphic violence. It doesn't mean that it has to be in this context. But these are definitely things that received but were not released with one. Fahrenheit really doesn't deserve one. Yeah, Manhunt. There's also what is that one? There was some other game that, like this. Oh no, maybe this is what I'm thinking of, because I was gonna say that's made by Rockstar, like Manhunt 1. Yeah, that's the whole irony of it. Is I guess I would discuss that more if I actually played. At least that's a good excuse for the sexual thing, the fact that that's the subject matter. But no, it's like, what about the fact that, yeah, Hatred? Wow, how can that be that there's so few? Agony. Oh, I remember even playing this too somehow. Was originally given AO but was edited in order to meet the M rating. Intended to release a patch to restore the content but was blocked by its publisher for legal reasons. The game was reissued on Steam and self-published Agony unrated, which is unsaturated and contained other patches. The intro of that was kind of annoying, but let's just see what we have here. See, Steam allows you to do them, and YouTube, I'm sure, would allow you to do them too. But I think if you just put a mature tag on there, isn't that ironic a little bit? The stuff that Twitch will allow you to do in just chatting and Amaranth and, with all due respect, pool streams, bikini, whatever, they allow you to do all that, but they don't allow you to play adult-only games. Interesting. But no, I'm looking for like an actual game that isn't like, you know what I mean, Stimuli Acme preserved basis, we'll just call it. Free adult only DLC. Like, why do they all have to be this? Can't there be something else? Adult only just means it's extreme graphic content. It could just be very violent. It could be, you know, just very dark thematically, something. So clearly, there are adult games on. Actually, decent games. Adult games that are actually decent. I thought of Manhunt. But is that actually adult only? Because it's not, I feel like. See, somebody uploaded it to YouTube. Let's Play full complete. So it must be legal to do it. Manhunt game series. Is it actually, though, or what? Or, you know, what was just taken offline that kind of was annoying. Not that it's adult only or anything, I don't think. It's the fact that I think this would just be mature, isn't it? Or does it even say it here? What? Plot. Where does it say it here? Adult themed, adults. I guess you'd have to go to the game itself. Is a Spec Ops The Line. That went offline, which I don't know. Like, they delisted it over some licensing issue with music, which is kind of dumb. They just killed. Okay, I don't want to know what that is. Just show me the rating, though. See, it's only M, though. It's only M. So, I don't get it. Or, like, what you should look up is, look up games banned on Twitch. And so that gives you almost a certain lure to it. There's a list of games that will instant ban you. I love how the randomized stream chat things are there, but that's because somebody could be doing something sexual. What if the randomized stream is Twitch itself? Doing a poll stream or something. So okay, these are chat. But is there anything that sounds, I mean, some of the names will give you a little bit cause for pause. But no, like Yandir Simulator is at least interesting as a thing. It will maybe will have some sexual element to it, but I don't even know why it's adult only either. Unfinished. I love that. It's not even finished and you're still going to ban it. What's under your blanket? It's just sad because so many of these don't really seem that good. Let me check Steam once more. This is just an interesting topic because I just downloaded Hatred just to think about what I was doing there. Like, Adult Swim. Or I could see something like the South Park game doing it. Or whatever. I hate that this is what you get, though. Everything is ruined by the Stimuli Acme. It's kind of like with music, right? Like something, the vast majority of lyrics and songs are romantic or sexual in nature, even though that doesn't have to do with anything. Adult only game, ARPG, or yeah, it could just be like it has elements like that, right? Like it can have a romance system in there, but it doesn't have to be only about that. You just look at the art on most of these and they're not... Like, that art style is really going to be adult only? Like, how? How does that even make any sense? How sultry and dark could that really go? How do I just see... Or maybe that's why, with external adult patch, that's a way to kind of subvert the thing. Like, it's not actually rated adult only, but it just has them, so you can get, like, a mod. But you can do that with anything. You can do that, like, with Skyrim. You can have, like, or so I've heard or seen... Adventure, anime, sexual content. Yeah, how about not sexual content? RPG. Oh my god. I feel like I saw some other better list of this before. Like, how do you just see the top rated ones? About... I don't know if this is even really very accurate. If you just look, then show me what would be like a rating system? Narrow by VR support features, like the type number of players. How do you see this? Adult only. Yeah, it's like I'd rather see more postals and hatreds than just hentai stuff or whatever you want to say. Does that mean it's actually adult only? It couldn't be. What? Wait, but this is not adult only. I've seen this on Twitch or whatever, so that means it couldn't be. Wait, let's try once more. Best adult only games of all time. There's got to be some cult classic amazing ones out there, but a lot of them are, I guess, are kind of cleaned up for the fact. Yeah, see, Fear and Hunger. What is this? This doesn't sound like a. Yeah, see, I want to see one that's just like really dark. It could have like some very gross and certain things, like you get tortured, or like that scene from GTA 5, but apparently that doesn't qualify it. Like, what is this? This is a perfect excuse to play stuff like this, even if it's a little bit questionable. Immersive 2018 game, but it is apparently adult only. I love that. What? I love that it's like. How come you can't even get it there? Oh, it's an RPG Maker, but how does that work? Like they have all these low res graphic styles where it's like, you know what I mean? It's an 8-bit. Why is it doing that? Oh, I must be hitting my keyboard that I'm not used to having. A sequel, Fear and Hunger, released in 2022. Where does it say? It doesn't even say the ratings on here, does it? Okay, it's on the itch.io thing too. Maybe they got rid of it from Steam, or I don't get it. Come on, don't tell me it's like taken down or something. Fear and Hunger by Orange. Yes, I'm 18 or older. $8 buy now. Yeah, stuff like this would be so cool, and I don't see what is really adult only about it. I just love that. This art style is adult only. Whether it's gross or graphic or violent, it doesn't seem that. Yeah, I'm totally gonna get into these type of things though. So there's like 3 things I can do in this recording context that I'm willing to do, right? Or 4 things. One would be chess, obviously, which I'm doing anyway, and I've been doing. Then I could do this adult only or banned stuff, or whatever weird kind of stuff. I could do randomized chat platforms or whatever, just anything that would be banned and not allowable on Twitch. Then I could do like react content, whether I'm reacting to movies or TV shows or something like that. Although I still wouldn't really show them there. I'd just show like a timestamp or something. We could figure it out like that. And then the 4th thing I could do is I could do sort of just chatting, kind of like what I'm doing now. Even though I'm talking about these adult-only things, I'm not actually doing one. Yeah, that's kind of more what I was looking for. The fact that Fear and Hunger, and these are being played like right now. This can't be accurate. But that's at least good to see. The Genesis order. So I don't even mind if it has sexual content in there, but it shouldn't be just only about that. This is maybe a better. I just hate how everything is overrun by that. College bound. Fuck. I don't know why that's happening, but I can't do anything about it. A Shot in the Dark. Maybe I should do some faster thing. Her new memory. There's got to be a good list. And it doesn't have to be like on Metacritic or something. Critical Point, Crystal Fan. Indigo Prophecy is not adult only though, dude. What are you talking about? Or maybe some version of it is. Playboy Screensaver, The Women of Playboy. How is that a game though? It's a screensaver. San Andreas, The Punisher, was moddable to be. Oh my god. Or wait, what does that even mean? Playboy The Mansion. Adult games tier list. I mean, we'll have to look into that more, but the 2 that are on my mind right now are, I guess, Manhunt, but I don't understand whether that's allowable on Twitch or not. Hatred I already got on Steam, so I have that ready. And then what was the one I just saw? Fear and something? Fear and Hunger could be good. Let me look up something. Manhunt. it's very confusing because it doesn't seem like that's actually an issue. And why is it so low rated? I thought this was supposed to be like a classic. This game does not support, okay. Playable Steam Deck. Am I just like blind and I don't see what a game is rated? Like, where does it say that? Yeah, it clearly says M. So let me look on Twitch then. I just want to be sure. I don't want to get banned for something. I guess I could do it on here just to be safe if I'm like not sure, but you could do manhunt. You would think it wouldn't be a setting, an option here if you could. Right, like some people are doing it right now. Manhunt 2, people are doing it right now. There could be some uncut version, I'm sure, but I don't understand. Let's see, Manhunt 2. Seems like you can get it on Amazon digitally, but it'd be cool to get it on Steam. Rockstar Games, I'm sure you can get it like right here even. Or... Okay, this one is showing as adult only though. So how do you even get it? It's on the Wii. Oh my god. Fuck. Manhunt 2, but how do you get it? PS2 on a Steam Deck. That just cracks me up. The fact that it's on fucking the Wii of all things. Manhunt, everything else. Why does it insist on doxing you like that? But it's showing you like New York City, which isn't even doxing me. Or is that showing you like actually the closest place where it would be? Is there literally nowhere to buy Manhunt 2? My thoughts exactly. I'll check Amazon. All I found are eBay Russian versions. Adult only PC version. Got mine for Gaming Dragons. Required to submit a photocopy. Okay, whatever. Let's just do something. But yeah, I was just kind of going over. Yeah, now that I have a mouse, I can handle bullet games. But yeah, you'll hear all the sexy clicking and stuff like that. I feel like this is not only not instructive to test, but it's anti-instructive. The fact that the speed of it, it's just dumb. Now, if he doesn't do anything about it, but you get to see a lot of mistakes that people don't typically make, in the sense that I'm assuming he's going to do that, and it could lead to a fork if he does it any further beyond. He takes, I take, I can't take, just take everything. This is exactly how you should play in like a bullet context anyway. Take this. Like, I don't even know what I'm doing, but it's good enough. Can't do anything there. Go like this. Go like that. Go like this. You could try to trade it into there. Now I should be able to give a check here. And then we're kind of closing out on the clown a bit. If he goes to dark square, we take. He takes. I think he kind of has to. You made him right there. Actually, it wasn't a bad one, though. You can't really judge me by the faster formats. The longer they get, the more I'm interested and immersed in them, and the more seriously I take them. But also, the longer I get, it's the fact where you're able to basically, you know, you can see my rating increase as well. But it's kind of a twofold thing. I don't really care as much about these, but I also, you know, will put more time and effort. But even if I didn't, I would naturally probably just be better at them anyway. Which you might think that's an equalizing factor. Like, well, of course, your rating's higher and you play better in 30-minute games than you do in 10-minute games because you have more time to think about it. But don't you think that would even itself out? Like, so do your opponents. So in a 10-minute game, my opponents have less time to think, so they should play worse. So like I should be 1500 in rapid and in classical. I shouldn't be, oh, of course, you're 1700 in classical because you have more time to think, but my opponents do too. So it should, no, I don't want to do that. It should even out. I'll still upload this as part of the chess thing just to show that, like, whatever. But no, that'd be a cool, like, little bonus series to upload if I just do random stuff like that. The adult-only thing. Or just something you wouldn't normally do or you wouldn't normally be able to do. Go to here, but you can't take. It lets you kind of be more willing to experiment with stuff in a way that's kind of a little bit cheeky, right? Like you can just do a lot of random moves and stuff that you'd normally get punished for pretty hard. Wait, I didn't even see what he did. If you open that diagonal, this is good, not takeable. That's there, that's good. I don't know exactly what to do here. He's coming down like this. This would be fine. This would be fine. Take, take. If this gets dislodged, we can just take. We can go ahead and move this back a little bit. But again, I end up playing too slow where I kind of try to be all cute about it. He got the little fork, but he doesn't have to do it, or I don't know what's going on. He's attacking there. He forks there. That's fine. We can take there. Not a big deal. I can take this. He takes. It's okay to pre-move in cases like that because it's only going to happen if he ends up actually doing something. I don't know what I'm doing there. Or both very long time, so you can start to just kind of bluff him and cheese him. Like, look how long he took to figure that out. Bro thinks he's Hikaru, but didn't put in the time that Hikaru obviously did. He takes there. Okay, so he runs out of time. Not very fun, not very satisfying, not very instructive, not very deserved. Blow the chest in a nutshell. But no, this is going to be a good thing to look back on. Like, not only do I do that in general, like every game I play, I'm going to play on stream or recorded just for the sake of it, because again, if I enjoy streaming or recording stuff, recording kind of notwithstanding, whatever, but if I enjoy streaming it anyway and then I enjoy playing it, why not just do the two at once, so it saves me time, so I don't have to do 1 hour where I'm just playing something in my own time and then 1 hour where I'm streaming it. But the thing is that it'll basically create a situation where you can look back on it like, I forgot what I was even saying. It'll create a situation where, you know, you can see how much chess is going to be played here and everything like that. So there's a certain value to it, I think. You'll just look at it like, I don't know, it's going to be a lot over a long period of time, and it just kind of creates a, I don't know how to explain it exactly, but yeah, there's definitely other options of stuff I could do with this, but somehow chess is just the one that feels right. And I didn't really even have time to do that here, so maybe I'll do it in the next little section. But when I upload it, I'll upload it all together in like a week's worth of chess. So I've already done one as part of this. It's confusing, whatever, but you'll see. If you're watching on YouTube, you'll see what it is. And my whole philosophy with YouTube stuff, too, is like, I don't expect anybody to watch the whole thing. Like if I upload a 3-hour video every couple days or whatever on different things, right? I don't expect people to watch the whole thing, but at least they can skim through it. That's the whole beauty of it. You can just watch whatever you find interesting, or skip to the end, or skip to some special moment. Nobody likes classical, that goes without saying, or at least nobody trusts it, because everybody feels like everybody's cheating. And I like this little checker set we got. So yeah, I'll try to do it maybe tomorrow a little bit in the morning and continue the session. Okay, so here I'll just do one quick 10-minute game since I didn't do one yesterday. Not that the days would, have much meaning here. I just keep, this is the luxury of doing it this way, that I don't have to do like long sessions. I can just do one here, one there, and then combine them, I guess, when I go to edit and upload them. I just like the idea of having a record of it no matter what. The idea that, this is quite a mismatch, 100 points, which doesn't happen in Rapid really as much as you might think, because it's a case where there's just more people active there. In Classical, at least it makes sense, because you're kind of like, there's only so many people online at a particular time, especially at a particular rating. I can't even blame him exactly for doing that. That should count as just the one game right there. So you have to play very precise, which I, just have to focus. This I like, or wait. See, this is like a little bit greedy, and you probably shouldn't do it. But it creates like a weird dynamic. Like, what if you'd be taking into a check then, or you would like be doing all kind of weird stuff? See, this I hate because what this does is it enables you to do this, and then you feel like going here, and that whole sequence I'm not very comfortable with, or I don't know exactly how it even works, really. There are some tricks and traps, or if you do it at the wrong time, it ends up not really working out. So this you should be able to actually do pretty cleanly, because what you're doing is you could take here, if I had only castled, I guess, already, but there's always... Sometimes what I'm trying to do is always good, but it's like, it's too slow, or it's like inefficient. Or you kind of tunnel vision and you're trying to do like only one thing at a time kind of thing. So he has the right idea there, but at least I feel kind of... One thing I don't want to allow is the pin here would be good. And also that gives it somewhere to escape to. At some point you have to stop treating it like it's a game, and you have to treat it like it's a career, or you have to like... You have to give it the respect. Which I wish I would have done that from the beginning. It kind of distorts my whole experience that I didn't realize something about it. I don't know. Now that's very dangerous, because whether you move it or not, that could be problematic. If there was some follow-up with the knight, you could even afford to sack it. This is at least a situation where you would think, when you get kind of loaded with two pieces attacking and one extra is kind of hanging around, that's when sacks do become a thing. So you bring it here, then you go like here, then if you... Or that's not even necessary as a sack play, it's just a... Okay. The problem is the other side of my board is just woefully undeveloped. See, this is kind of annoying because you don't want to even remove that, because if you do, then what happens is... Or yeah, that's the sack I was just talking about. You could do this, do this, do this, and then it's over. So I can't even take it. At least I identified that that's what it was going to be. That this is a perfect situation for a sack. How did he do that so well, man? Now, you still don't have to do anything. Like, you can just wait. He could take there, though. Even if you were to try to go there, it wouldn't work. You could go there, or no, you could go there. I don't know. It's just like these sloppy openings that determine so much in the game, but I guess you can't complain because you just have to know them, and then you kind of equalize it. So it's not fun. I always compare it to like a shop system, like in League of Legends or something. It's like, oh, you get to metagame the shop and you get to do all these things, but in the end, everyone does kind of the same things in the same, whatever. This counters that character, this counters this situation, this team comp. So once you know them, they just equalize each other out. So it's like very meaningless. I don't know. So you can't actually bring the queen in there, but you can bring like the knight or something. Could potentially be problematic. At least one thing we know for sure here is like nobody's stream sniping, because it's, we're not actually streaming. The real problem with this position is that I can't like involve my queen or anything at all. So you would go like here and then do something, or you just go here. but you can't. It's just this claustrophobic, stupid situation with everything that I have here is not good. Now you could move that, creating a big threat. I don't know why this doesn't actually feel all that bad for me, because no matter where you go here, you can't even give a check. So sometimes just leaving your king right on the open could be good. Like, what does that do now? He can't go there. It's definitely an uphill situation where it's not good, but I can't figure out what else to do. I could do like this, but then you're going to end up like trapping yourself out if you... The important thing to note here is the queen can't actually give a check, which seems kind of weird considering its position, like, and that knight is useless as ever, as they always are. But I can't bring my pieces in very effectively, even just to defend here. I'm not even trying to attack. I've been playing these last several games at least very, like, I'm playing them like they actually mean something. Almost like there's a permadeath challenge in this format too, but there's not. And I won't even bother putting one, but I am trying to progress here, mainly for the sake of time. Dude, sometimes this that I do, what you see right here, this position is busted, it's over, I should lose. But somehow you can do something here. So you take a thing here, just calculate all the possibilities. That's all you have to do. It'll cover this, so you can't take there. You can't do anything there. But what if you, like, sacked it? Then he could do that. Right, so, like, he'll... This is a very sack-heavy game, it feels like. You sack it there, then regardless whether I take it or not, it doesn't matter, because you can do that. So, like, now if you were to sack it, then I could take here, and then you wouldn't be able to do anything. You got to double check your work and be very sort of skeptical even of yourself, to the extent that you don't trust what you're doing or that you're going to be good enough to see everything, which you should do that at every level, no matter where you are, but especially at the low level. The amount of effort that people put at this rating kind of stuns me. There's something wrong with the whole approach that people have. It's not supposed to be this difficult at like 1400. There's something wrong. Like, you really should, oh, just study for years and then you'll seem like you're better than what you are. And that applies to me more than anybody else, because I always tried to do that, where like I tried not to study. I tried to just do it more in a raw sense. So you're not really trying to do that, despite whatever that might indicate. I'm not sure what else is happening here. It's a very bad position for me, but I have to find a way. Even this wouldn't be that good, because he could just move it and then... Or no, I mean, he could just let me take it. Like, imagine that being the right move, which it probably was, but only because you've allowed your position to be so bad in the first place. You can, like, unleash the thing and then try to take the queen. But that's kind of good for me, like... I'm just tempted to do this. Like, there's nothing... There's nothing really nuanced about it, but I should double check again. Or you could go, like, here. So if he goes there, he gives a check, then I'm forced to take it. But I could take it with anything. I could take it like with this, and then he checks. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! It's covered. Never mind. I was gonna say like, oh, he can unleash and still take that, but he can't even do that because the knight is still there. Obviously, it's like I have this. I don't know. I'm always like halfway though. I still don't. Look at what this game is though. Like this is so much. Okay, now at least we're in a great spot because you take this. It shouldn't be a problem really now. Because if you take, I take. If you don't, I'm in an okay spot as it is. I don't see any crazy thing. Even if you do like this, it's like, so what? You know what I mean? Like, you can just... Unless there's like a great follow-up that I just missed. I made that move maybe kind of too quickly. I've never been like this far away from a mic, so it feels kind of weird. This one's like way more sensitive even than like the Blue Yeti and stuff. So the Lightspear Bishop is still undeveloped. Like, that was a horrible game, and I should use this as a learning thing. Like, the opening was so bad. No matter what happens now, right? You can sometimes cheat death a little bit, but that doesn't mean you should really play like that. This also accounts for that square. So if he goes here, then I go here, then he could mate, but that's why we can also cover that. It's like low-rated chances where both people can be mutually shocked at what's happening, but they're still both taking an active part in it. Like, what is happening? It's too much effort. It's not worth it if you do it like this. And even better players will say the same thing. Like, just why even bother trying to do this? You're missing some element of it where you just don't have to do it like that. Like, I don't see anything crazy here. His rooks are totally not engaged yet. So we would be in a relatively even material position. My king's position is still bad, but I think I could figure it out maybe. So I'm sure he had some better like, again, a skilled offensive player there would not have let that slip, right? They would have obviously just won. If I was to take here, that would be problematic for the simple fact that you can unleash and then you take that for free. If I take here, you're going to have all kinds of crazy checks. I mean, he probably wants me to take would be the point. If I took, he can go there and then he can check. And then it won't be a mate. It doesn't seem that bad, really. Or if I don't... like, let's say I move the king here, then you're just giving him that. I don't know. You go here, where can he go? He can... oh, he could take that. Wait, but it wouldn't matter because... if he took it, that's kind of what I wanted in the first place. He's going to take that, like, basically no matter what. So materially, I don't care as much. Like, it doesn't matter. He could take, I could take, he could take, I could still take. Just whatever sort of cheeky unleash. See, that's sort of an unclear move. Like, I don't even know why I did that. Like, I'm just sort of afraid of something for some reason, so it doesn't even have merit to it. You should look a little deeper, but I don't have time also, which is one of the least fun elements to have to deal with in in this low-rated context. It's not really, although 10 minutes should be enough, but we somehow got a material. Like, this kind of game is both very satisfying, but also very depressing because it's so hard to explain even what's happening, or I don't get it. Kind of lonely without a little bit of music in the background, but I don't have enough network mobile hotspot data on this fucking thing that I'm using with no actual proper internet here. See, that shows you right there. If you're really dedicated to something, you'll find a way to do it, both in terms of the streaming recording aspect, but also the chess aspect. You'll find a way to play chess on fucking litchess.com with inflated ratings, with a dollar store mic recording offline, mobile hotspot using to play, like all these kind of things. You'll find a way to do it because it's just that important, or you're just that committed. That's okay. Or is it? Well, I have to do it. Okay, we're fine, kind of, but we have to watch out a little bit. Feels like this knight could be a lot more useful than what it actually is being. And what he did there was a cardinal mistake, because you should have brought the other one so the other one's still active. Why would you block your other rook and make it sort of inactive? I guess for the purpose of double stacking it, but just go for some cheeky threat, but that could have been a big mistake because no, it's okay, it's okay. That could sometimes be a mistake because you restrict where you're actually able to go. Okay, that makes me very happy because what shit. Come on, his time is at least a little lower, although I can't rely on that. That was a good move at least. Go here. He goes here, fine. You gotta make it so you can always go behind the thing. Which I don't really know why I'm doing that, but now you can give the check. That's the whole point, but he fucked up. Oh, wow. This guy was insane, though. Okay, we still have time, though. Don't get overconfident. He's so good that he'll probably fuck me over still here. Okay, at least the position is enough now. There's no way. There's no way. Now this one's passed to the extent you could just go. You could just go. What? No, wait. No, wait. With 1 second, you can do it. You're going to pull a Hikaru? There's no. That's almost deserved that it's a draw rather than a win, because that guy was like, who is that guy? Like, who? I guess you could always ask the same thing about me, but like, I always feel like I'm at least better than what this rating would suggest. But like, who are these people, man? You know, I got to 1550 whatever before, And it wasn't like provisional or anything, so it's not like this is... I haven't been through this territory even recently before, even if things have changed like over the years or over time. That is very confusing. This also takes even longer than normal because whatever of what I'm using here. So I mean, I'll actually add that guy because that was insane. I don't know what to say. I mean, if that's 1400 on an inflated site, then I don't know what to tell you. Because if you look at it, like I had no chance. But I like the fact that, and see, that breaks my win streak. I was on like a 5-game win streak, but now because of a draw, that it's hard for that to be instructive because see, it feels like, oh, you almost played well or you did something cool, but it didn't matter because you still somehow escaped. But so what are you supposed to do? You're supposed to move the knight. Oh yeah, because you can just kind of pull the rug out. Like he goes here, but so what? And then it even turns bad where you can potentially trap that inside there too. So I didn't have to kind of overreact there. See, my position's totally busted, but somehow you might say, oh, it's because he's making blunders, but that's the whole point. Like, and these aren't exactly the most high level type of blunders, like where he's not just hanging a piece, but that was kind of crazy. That should have been a win, though. See, that's even under that circumstance. So you're almost happy to have gotten a draw because of how stupid that is. So I got the queen, but I didn't really... All you would have to do is take it because you don't have to worry about the king catching up, right? I'm just being lazy by not taking it. That would have made my life so much easier. And I had, I think, enough time, sort of. So you get like a little bit complacent in a match like that. So that was quite a crazy one. But no, if we look at our win streak, I keep trying to beat my 7-game win streak max that I've done, right? But now it'll say 0, which is, again, that's not how it works in real life or in professional chess because there was a time where Ding Liren or Magnus Carlsen had like both of them had like 2-year-long win streaks. Obviously, they're getting draws somewhere in the middle there. So, you know, that obviously doesn't interrupt it. So I don't know why this side has to break from that form. Okay, so today is going to be another one of those little recorded sessions of the game, and let's say I do it for like an hour at a time, so that allows us to play like maybe 2 to 3 of them. But I also don't mind turning this into like a little just chatting category a little bit here and there, or even like those adult-only games, like basically anything I can't do on Twitch or that I wouldn't normally do on stream, whether because you're not allowed. So I can always fit those things into it, so it won't just be like chess. I'll upload it as part of my chess, you know, my chess schedule. Like once a week, on my second channel, I upload a chess video, but it'll go a lot of different directions. So we can turn it into a debate format, turn it into a just chatting thing, but ultimately the main point will be chess. So last time we had this epic, crazy game that ended in a draw, but it was really quite something to look at. Let's say she check it. And it shows you kind of like I was on a 5-game win streak, and I was losing the whole way, but this is where you kind of... It's both a positive and a negative. Like, I shouldn't be in a bad position like this, but it's also, like, you can find a way just like you're so determined. Like, let's say she tried to learn from this a little bit. That's fine. That's also fine. So now I try to overdo it a little bit. You could just keep taking. Because it's like he thinks he's doing something cheeky. Like, oh, he's gonna somehow punish me for doing this, but he's not. Just keep taking the pawn. It's not like something super complex. So this position gets totally busted. And the main thing you're trying to do there, I guess, is block the eventual descent of the light square bishop there. That can definitely be problematic. This is a mistake because he does some kind of crazy sack play. And I like how I even called that too. Like, oh, this seems like the kind of position where sacking something would be good because there's so many things going in that direction. And even here is a mistake too. Where like I'm worried, well... There's a lot of mistakes, but the fact that you can somehow do this is pretty spectacular still. And actually, it's not even that, oh, I lost. I actually would have won, too. I just kind of panicked on time at the end. And you can say the same is true of him, but the blunder kind of cancels one another out. But at this point, you're not even losing, but it just... These kind of positions are so bizarre that it's hard to think, like, what's happening. you'd have to, like, if you go there, then you could, like, go here, and then if he takes, I could still take, I don't know what it is. Yeah, the real instructive thing of that is just learn how to play the opening in the first place, and you won't be at such a disadvantage. It's amazing that so many of these things are blunders, though, because they're exactly what's allowing me to stay in the game. And then we get a fork, which we miss, and then we eventually get it back. So he's like a glutton for getting forked. And then it turns from this to somehow we end up winning. Like, even here, it arguably should be a draw, maybe. Right, but then I'm just too lazy to take. All you have to do is take this, and then he can't catch up. But I'm thinking, like, oh, I'll just beat him to it, which I kind of do, but then it turns into a draw that way, too. And then even that, he messes up, but he only had, like, a second left, right, which you can see they're, like, 0.6, so it wasn't going to happen. But it just shows you how crazy some of these games are going, where this is really what it's going to take. So now, at long last, you realize that you can be as good at chess as you really want to be. You just have to really want it that badly and put in that much time and that much effort, too, in the course of individual games, which is kind of interesting to think about, that you would have to do that for this. But people always think, oh, you underestimated it because of the rating, but it's like, if they're that good, then why are they here? You know what I mean? They should be like 2,000 or something. They're like me, where it's just sort of unrefined. There are elements of them that are good, but you have to kind of polish it up a bit, so there's something there. Which is not even a flex about that, like, weird flex, you're a 1400 player, but see, now here is one of those things, like, I don't know. It's in my instinct to take, right? It seems to be fine, but I don't know. Now, that's interesting because it shouldn't have led to me losing anything, and it actually doesn't, right? It's perfectly fine. You can just do, like, this. So he ended up just blundering a piece for nothing. Even if you take, I can still take. This really almost let you off the hook or encourage you to play badly because you can get away with it so much. So it's interesting that he would choose to take that of all things. It is going to mess up my whole structure later, though. I mean, look, he's trying to do something all cool with this, but we have enough covers there, so it doesn't even matter. Right, you go ahead, you take. I can still take back. It fucks up my castle, but I might have to change that whole thought process anyway. But I can't even move that. Okay, so that was a very unconventional opening, and this once again tells you, like, I didn't do anything special there. He just doesn't know what he's doing, or he's trying to do something, trying to do too much, basically. I love how that would be my two things, though, that I would choose. Like, oh, you're finally recording stuff rather than streaming it. So what are you going to do? You're going to play chess almost exclusively, or you're going to play, like, hatred and adult-only stuff. But I guess that's part of the point. Not even because, like, oh, in principle, I wouldn't do that stuff otherwise. Because it's the same thing, like, whatever. But it's more just... It's like, you know, it's just something you can't really do normally otherwise. Which I almost worry about that. Like, oh, if I upload it, am I going to somehow get in trouble? But there can't be any agreement that says, oh, you can't do that in your own time. Like, oh, you'll get banned from Twitch for doing something off Twitch that's not even, you know, you're going out of your way to not do it on the platform as a courtesy to them because, okay, it's not allowed. So you can't ban me from doing it on YouTube or something. That is adequately covered to the point where Like he would take, I would take, he would take, I would still take. So I don't even have to do anything. The main thing I want to do is get rid of this, just so that I can, just so I can actually do something with respect to the just a queenside castle, because I don't feel comfortable doing kingside castle here, obviously. And you should almost try to take advantage of this as an attacking notion here. See, this game won't be instructive at all because there's nothing, I don't know. There's not really too much he can do with that, to be honest with you. So you go ahead, you keep the queen in line with this, which could be good later. We can do this, do some kind of unleash. There's all kind of stuff we can do. Oh, God. So you'll go there, he'll unleash. Like this is the stage of the game where what you not knowing what you're doing is what gets really annoying. And the reason why is because you're in a good spot, but you're just gonna kind of not do anything with it. So or then you start to reach and do things that you really don't have to do. So you'll always have these kind of bailout games, but you always have to be aware of something above and beyond. If you just, so you can certainly take that. It creates sort of maybe an incentive to do this, or you could just go for that and not even worry about it. But that could pose a problem later too. I mean, at some point you're not going to be able to cover that, and at some point the king is just going to have the castle, which should have been more so my priority. Like, let's just let him have it, and it's not that big of a deal. So it's a difference of a pawn. Doesn't mean I couldn't have covered it, but I don't. It's just kind of getting a little bit irritating here. There's not much you can still do with this, for the simple fact that, okay, you would take, I would take, you would take, I would still take. I'm not very good at doing these arrows, or maybe the sensitivity of this mouse is kind of shitty. Not that I really need it to be especially good for just chess, unless I was doing some kind of crazy bullet thing. He moved there, he finally addresses that. We got to remember that this is not going to be covered. We don't have to do anything about it yet, though. I mean, this just seems like a logical next move to make, but you can't do it because obviously this would not be covered. So this is not a very threatening thing to worry about for a while. You can just wait. There's a certain rows that you don't want to move the thing. You don't want to move the... Okay, this is him kind of going a little bit overboard with the stuff here. So he would take, I would take, he would take, I would take, he would take, I would still take. It would be fine, but I'm sensing something more to what he's doing here. Like, it can't be that obvious and basic of a threat. And that's the thing, though. These players aren't even that bad, or at times they're even shockingly great, but they just make some basic mistake, like in the opening or something like that. You can go here. He's just not going to simply take. That's the beauty of it. Theoretically, he could take, but he's just not going to. Now you can guarantee the trade on there because he's just going to have to simply move away. Which, again, I was in the sort of material advantage position, but then I'm the one who goes on the defensive when I'm up. It's like a complacency issue or something. Like I don't trust myself, so I would rather play safe even when I'm winning. So yeah, that move didn't have any merit to it whatsoever, because there's no good scenario here that you can have. You're going to be guaranteed to take that, as far as I can tell. That's kind of cute, but you would think you would still have to address this first. You're not going to just take there and let me save it, because even if you okay. Now this could only be concerning if the other rook sort of opens up here a bit. So you got to just watch out with all this. Everything's fine. The knight for a while there was, as it usually can be in chess overall, it'll just be a liability where everything is kind of leaning on it and it's pinned down and this and that. The knight is definitely the most likely to get pinned. Like it's a joke on one of those high school type of things, like most likely to be such and such. A horse most likely to be pinned or to be blundered or something, have something bad happen with it. So what you could do is you could take, or you could like take and then force to take and then take. So the idea here is that you would just you could move this, but you don't really want him to take it. Can I just move it and get it out of the way? He would take, I would take, he would still take. This is one of those cheeky threats on the queen that I always talk about. It's not really going to do anything. But in this position, you don't really fear this too much, because if you had a dark square bishop, you would obviously never do that because it opens this up. But it's very unlikely that the knight is going to be able to do anything here. And if he does, like, that looks all scary, but it's really not. That's the thing. So now the act of me taking, so he should take, because if he lets me take, then I can take that guaranteed, because he has to take back, obviously, with the other rook. But that is fairly basic, but he also has to worry about this. So he would take this first, I would take, he's smart enough to at least do that, but then I can take the other thing too. Again, we're only up the material that we had pretty much at the beginning, so it doesn't have a ton of merit to it. So now here you start to just become aimless, because I know that nobody who's sub 1500 is going to really know how to attack in any meaningful way. You just have to keep needling it, but this is where the piece, even with the piece advantage, I still struggle to attack. That's when you know it's just not what it's meant to be. Gotta watch for any cheeky threats he might be posing, but there's only so much you can do even here. The problem is the king can always be the equalizing factor, where you get to you get to still do it. Like I would take, he would take, I would take, he would take, I would take, he would still take. So it's very hard to play around the king. In fact, that's one of the most important fundamental principles in chess, is the idea that how do you work around that? Even if you have a piece advantage, or not even a piece advantage, but you have more pieces attacking than they have defending, you still have to work around that. That's what makes it so difficult. You often don't account for it, really. The The problem with this is just you don't have the ability to actually. I don't have very much time. It's very hard for me to think like what to do here, not just because of the time issue, but just like I don't know. I don't know what it is that you're trying to go for here, and he doesn't seem to know either. Kind of showing a bit of weakness there that I feel like it's just so hard to come up with anything here. Like, what is the thing? You have to give up on your one tunnel vision idea of what you're trying to do and go like in a different direction. Or you know what? It's sometimes staring you right in the face. You can just take this because he can't take. Imagine that. This is what a GM brain looks like. Like, look at that. You're sitting there. You're not willing to even consider the idea. I'm thinking about like taking this with this there or something else. All you'd have to do is take that. And that breaks open the whole thing, obviously. That is unbelievable. Like, you just sometimes have to really look or dig a little bit deeper into what you're doing. You should just be able to take or wait. You know, let's just settle for what we're doing for now, and then even if now you were to just trade the thing, take, it's still not enough though. Or you'd have to just go like this. Little does he know I'm satisfied just kind of dicking around and going back and forth for now. I don't know when or if there even is going to be a mate here, but it's just a lot to consider. Oh, look at that. Look how I ended up actually covering it and not even realizing. I didn't know that that was going to be what that did. You can give a stupid little check. Holy shit, like, you still, these people know how to drag this shit out all fucking day. He can go ahead and do that. You can go ahead and do that. Okay, let's just try to pick up the pace. There's no way it's going to end like the last one where it's like a draw, even though it should be a win. Oh, shit. Well, you're covering that square anyway, so it doesn't matter, but that's the kind of thing that'd make you panic. Are you kidding me, dude? They still fight for it so hard, but you should have thought about that earlier, like at the beginning of the game when you just wanted a piece for nothing. Go ahead, take the pawn. I don't even care, or you can't even take it. You go like that. I don't care. You go ahead. You give a check. I'm too slow. Like, there could have been a mate somewhere here in this universe, but I just can't even begin to think of it. With any of these scenarios, I could have easily done it. If he goes to a light square, I can check. If he goes to a dark square, I could have checked and took that. And that's the flip side benefit of it there. Why is it so hard to actually do this? Like, what the fuck? I'm not even going to bother trying to do it. I'll just do it this way. And it shouldn't be a stalemate no matter what. Usually with that, you kind of have to back them into it, right? It's not going to just happen on its own. So only what I'm doing could cause it. You got to think about it like that. As players at this rating clearly don't stalemate. So you go ahead and do that. You go ahead and do that. Or as long as you're giving a check, you know at least there's some safety net with that. Because you're able to do it in such a way that that could have easily been actually. It's so fucking annoying because all these other pieces get in the way like that with respect to, you know, like your king and your pawns and everything. Okay, this should be a guaranteed thing. Okay, dude. Like, at some point, I appreciate their fight, but again, you know, like, fight smarter, not harder. Like, why do you gotta fucking be like that, even though I'm exactly like that? Like, the previous game before that was exactly the opposite of that, where I'm down, but then I somehow draw it. So there's a certain merit to that. This, again, I don't know how instructive this was. I said it wasn't at all at the beginning because... But that's the thing. That shows you these players are getting better because they're making it difficult. Even though he blundered the piece at the beginning, it was so hard to actually do that, and it almost came down to time too. Although I guess that happens for me no matter what. And this should have been like a end-to-end victory, like how they say in sports, like a wire-to-wire victory where like you're always leading the whole way or something. I love that with Nepo's World Championship choke. You don't even see black on this one at all. Like where he was always up one game. He would win the first game, then they would draw, then he would lose, then he would win. He would always be up until the very end. Like, how do you psychologically allow that to happen? Again, granting the benefit of the doubt that he's a really good player, nobody's questioning that. So did I do the right thing there? I did do it. And then at this point, it almost just didn't matter because but see, it kind of does matter because I'd probably give it back to him a little bit, or maybe not too much. It's just like whatever you're doing is kind of hard to quantify. That's a blunder, so what should I do instead? But see, the difference of that blunder is basically just the effect of whatever. Like you're not losing because of it. So those kind of blunders I can live with. A lot of the time you're making those because you're not even thinking about your move because you're already winning by so much or you're so sure of it. I see this guy on here all the time. Is that his like real life name or who is this guy? I guess it is. He's the best player on the chess history, maybe, because he just always plays on here. Like, a lot of these people don't care about it. Belarus, 2695. It's kind of a good debate as to, like, what constitutes a super GM. Like, somebody was calling Hammer a super GM with the whole cult of personality cloud chasing association with Alex Botez, of course, causing that to be a discussion. It's like, why would... Like, he was only 2,700 for like a second, and he was only barely 2,700. So yes, you can consider it a super GM, but you know, to me, it's more like somebody who's lived at 2,700. Like, you've been there for a long time. So even like Judith Polgar, I would in some ways say she's not. I mean, I guess you are because, you know, to reach 2,700 in the first place is a big deal. That's a big difference from 2,500. And I'm not saying they should even make it an official title, but you know, you get to 2,700 for like a second, and then you fucking, you know what I mean? You live off of that. So yes, you can say they're a super GM, but I mean, I would say it has to be somebody who's there for a while, right? You stay at, not even saying you have to be that much higher than it, but like you were 2,700 for like a year or like 5 years, and you kind of hung around. That's kind of more what I think about it. I don't like this notion that, oh, it's somebody just... You should be a control freak. How to update your profile picture on FIDE. Like, why is this a thing? Yeah, average chess professional, by the way. Change your chess, my chess. Updating your profile photo. And I wouldn't have it, obviously, because you have to send an email to directory FIDE. Attach your high-quality photo. But you probably have to be a real person. Very easy process, take less than 5 minutes. I love how they're... Why is this even a topic? Chess products. So stupid, man. Alright, so that was a freebie, so I have to take this next one a bit more seriously. But you see what that game did is that I didn't necessarily play that badly, but I immediately was sort of disengaged because he gave me that piece at the beginning. Right? So I'm not using that as an excuse, like, oh, I would do badly because of that, but it's like, I don't know how to explain it. You're just immediately not taking it as seriously as you should. Now, this is a little bit confused positioning for the bishop because if you were to go there, I don't know what to make of it. I would go here, so like he would raise it, I would take, he would take, then I could take this. So that's the only logical advancing move that you could make. Or rather, you could have just gone there, potentially. Let's see if we'll get a scholar's mate. Ha ha. Funny. Like, so stupid, man. It doesn't seem like a bad developing move for the queen regardless, but it is kind of just dumb. Like, you never really want to do that. Like, would a 1,400 for how insanely good these people are, actually allow that to happen? And the answer is obviously not. So if I don't do it, he'll do it. And if I go somewhere else, I don't know what's going to happen. Or you know what that actually did? Is it lets me take here. Or rather, I could do this and then do it. Because no move, what he's going to make is going to stop me from doing it. That's kind of good. Now, of course, it doesn't mean that you'll be able to actually take the rook, obviously. That's too greedy. So this sort of queen movement is not exactly what you want to do in the early game, and it's the sign of an amateur game from two levels. On one level, it's that you would even move the queen in the first place, but number two, that it would even work to any extent, right? Any good player is not going to allow such a thing. What's going on? I mean, he's getting a lot of free development out of it, to be sure. Really, just let him develop every fucking piece, and your queen is smothered, but kind of on her own terms, at least. She likes this kind of thing. What can I say? I'm super happy about that, because now whatever potential threat you could have paid me back with for being so overly aggressive is not going to be a problem now. I love all these overused songs, like in all these like YouTube videos, like the Metamorphosis Interworld and Metamorphosis and all the, or I think I said that twice. Whatever, like there's just a million different videos and things that use it. Doesn't mean they're bad, but you know, here's the stage where I get overly aggressive and just try to trade everything. Oh wait, that's always all the time how I play. This is even kind of bad because it allows you to basically, this would be an octopus knight for what it's worth. It would have allowed him to basically set up for a double stack, which of course he promptly doesn't do. So this is beautiful because it completely shuts down the ability of the rooks to be effective. You ever see what an octopus knight does to a rook? Now, you ever see what an octopus knight does to double stacked rooks? Now that you should see. That you should see what an octopus knight does to double stacked rooks. You should see. That's the little taxi driver joke line that I made. That's almost too long to fit into a title. Somehow it's just very fitting, very disgusting act. So you would have to almost just go for this, because you could like take, I don't know. I don't like it, but I don't see anything else you can really do. So if you take side take, I could have also took with the knight. Oh, wow. You know, this would be a case where you could wonder, like, is it worth it to go for this? Because he could just take my knight. And now I'm starting to play like a bit of a clown. He takes that, I take this. So I messed up my, not only lost a pawn, but I messed up my whole octopus knight situation that I was in. Wouldn't this basically be the same thing, though? I get like maybe a pawn out of it, or what kind of triggers me is sometimes how inconsistent people are, which is describing me in a nutshell too, which is what happens when you kind of lack fundamentals and everything. It's like you can be so bad at one moment and then so good at another, so you don't know whether to take them seriously or not. So you go for this, doesn't really matter. Let's see what he can do. I can create a double stack. If he goes there, no, he can't do anything. That's a very good move. And the reason why is because you're attacking both of these. Even a move like this is not the greatest, because it could pose problems still later for me. He's going to attack it, then I'm not going to be able to protect both or something. At least I'm using my time a little more, which can often be the entire difference in the game a lot of the time, just with respect to whatever, like... See, I don't even see what that move does. There's no advancing next move. I guess he just go here to attack the rook itself, which isn't even a problem. Let's do that because he doesn't have any sort of Octopus Knight-esque cover. He can't really attack the rook itself. But that's like the best defense is a good offense. The best way to avoid getting attacked by the knight is to simply attack the knight. Wow. With 8 minutes left, too. Like, what is this herky-jerky style of play that he's doing? I'm so confused. Now, this could be a very bad move, but then again, you have the pawn to cover, even in the worst case. Right, like, you could just do this if you really had to. It's just so undisciplined, which, again, describes me a lot, too, but... Now you don't care about your pawn structure as much, only because the game is at such a stage that you don't really fear any sort of opening that you would normally get as far as the queen or something. He'd take there, or he could try to double take. I'm not really seeing what he could be doing here, but you could do like this, and even if he takes, I can take the thing. Just sack the knight. See, I don't like the sound of sack the rook as much, but I love the idea of sack the knight. That should be my whole philosophy, but it kind of goes without saying, so it wouldn't be much of a catchphrase, because that's like saying, whatever, like it doesn't matter. You would do that second nature, because it's such a sackable piece. If he does that, I could easily take. This could potentially be a bad idea, actually. Go for that. You have the rook advantage. That's not bad. Okay, or you just let him do it. Sometimes I get very lazy there, like where I'll just ignore a pawn take, which cost me that one game, which was the draw from last time. Okay. See, they're kind of giving it to you a little bit easy here, which isn't representative of this level of play. I'm sure if he took his time, even at this level that we're both at, he had like 7 minutes left. So that difference of 3 minutes of thought, especially at the beginning, could be a big deal. But I like the ones where it is sort of like a wire-to-wire type of thing. Why is it saying this is the best first move? Since when? It's always the center pawn movement, isn't it? So yeah, I mean, there might be a little bit of black favoritism there, but it's not going to be much. Like, those little increments are not meaningful. That doesn't really mean that you're winning or losing, right? It's just very insignificant. So at no point was I losing in any meaningful way. At worst, I maybe just missed a better winning opportunity. See, I thought that might be a blunder, but why is it? Oh, because of that. So what am I supposed to do there is a better question. You're supposed to go here, but I questioned this for a couple of reasons. I don't know why. Or rather, I just didn't like this. It seems like an ugly move. I'm actually kind of surprised it tells you to do that. Right, like it makes sense on a certain level, but sometimes you try to do too much, or you try to do something almost fancy a little bit. Yeah, that was okay. We should be around the 50 mark somewhere here. Right, 54. So my peak here in rapid, of course, and of course 50% even. What a nice increment to have. It's a case where 1550 is my peak, which is unbelievable that, you know, it's this hard to get there. Maybe we should do one more. I was thinking that would be my last one, but I like these little sections, though, because it's a little more comfortable. Baba Ramdev, also somebody who's like a guru in Asia somewhere, who's like sells all these products that are supposedly good for your health or something. But obviously it's not the same guy. At least I'd highly doubt it. He just moonlights as a chess grandmaster like that dude, Luke McShane over there. My chess titles are about to be getting wild, though. You dare bring half-baked theory before the prognosticator of the long-form postulate. This is the kind of stuff we're going to be getting into, evoking my whole principle there in life in general. That's kind of a mismatch of rating. I almost hope he aborts, but then again, I'll take an easy win. That's kind of unfair. You know, I always say that on the other side, too. I don't want to be playing against a 1550 either, but look at the balls on this guy. But then again, you shouldn't lose that much if you do. For him, I mean, for me, I can't lose for sure. But don't you love how, like, the beginning of the game just plays itself, and eventually the end game just plays itself because your levels equalize each other out? And so people trying to talk around that, like, you know, oh, well, this guy has engine lines memorized like a super GM, but he still draws the majority of his game, so that's not a bad thing because, you know, oh, it's like they can still survive that, but all that means is that the other player has that too, like where they're very experienced and whatever. Now you could do this, which is so weird because it's like you don't want to do it. But then again, it is very forcing because now you can't take that, you can't do this, you can't do this. If you do this, then I can immediately do this, and then you can't take either, right? So that's why it's a protected move. So you go ahead, you do this, you fork it right away, and there's nothing you can do about it. Because even if you take the bishop, you're going to lose the queen. If you take the knight, you can't take the knight even. This is like the oldest trick in the book. I'm surprised even a 1300 would... I mean, that's just a disgusting mismatch, which, again, I would complain about. But then again, you know, it just shouldn't be happening. Like, there's enough people on the site, clearly, where... I keep saying this is my last game, but they keep going so fast that I feel like I have to do another one. What the fuck? Not that I'm complaining, but in fact, that gave me a great amount. 6 for somebody 100 lower. Somebody at my rating is only giving me like 8. That's actually almost too much that it gave me there. Okay, can this be the last one? Which I just mean it has to be a long, substantive game. That actually kind of goes to, oh, shit, what are these matchmaking, man? I'm good. Yeah, what is he, scared of me or something? 1585. It's not even worth his time, dude. Why the fuck is that happening? Every game is offset about like 100 plus. Maybe this is just like a bad time of day to play. Okay, see, that one's fine. That's nothing. It's a difference of like 30. Very fair. I'm always the kind to take. Just for the sake of it here. The move that I hate in these kind of positions is I hate doing the knight. I hate moving the knight, period. Now, why did that move even work in a way that I normally don't expect it to? Why do I feel like you just normally can't do that? Okay, that's to be expected too. So he's kind of closing in. This I don't like, but there's nothing... If I do this, you just end up getting screwed. See, this is what I hate. It's like somehow this is the correct move, but if you go here, then the problem is he can pin it down. I'm just going to do it, though. I don't care. Go ahead, pin it down, then I'll castle. I'll be able to cover it. Like, I don't care, man. It's just annoying how the knight works, period. Like, all I'm trying to do is get it, like, out of the way, basically. So the pin doesn't concern me. I'm just going to use the rook to cover it if I have to. Thankfully, he's not really too keen on even trying to take advantage of that. You have to be a little careful here, but I don't mind actually moving the knight. He would take, I would take, he would take, I would still, or no, I can't. Dude, like, here's where it becomes so annoying, but I don't know. I don't know. Like, this position is bizarre to me. This could be bad for him, though, if he kingside castles. This is not the greatest pawn to have here. I can almost guarantee a move like that isn't the correct move to make. But the reason why it's okay is because... So you're not going to trap it, but it's still awkward. Right, if somehow there was a lane for the Lysker bishop. Like if this was open, but then you can still block it with other things. Okay, this we just have to make room for something, because this is getting annoying. You go back. Either one you go to here, I'm going to take. So you have to go further back then. Or I'm generally pretty okay with that. I can't see why I wouldn't be. So he needs to come up with some sort of synergy here. That is an interesting move for sure. Oh, wow. Okay, see, that kind of thing I can live with, but the speed with which he saw it was truly spectacular. Now, here's where you don't give up or don't get tilted. It's not that big of a deal, right? You can easily deal with that. You have to figure out how to turn a negative into a positive here, somehow. My development is just so bad here, though. Like, just let him do it. Don't even worry about it. Not that I have much of a choice, but that was a good move. I have to give it to him there. Then you're double tagging that, so he'll simply move it. Nothing gets by the... What the fuck is going on? Okay, dude. Okay. Okay, dude. Okay, dude. Okay. All right. All right. I can deal with one of those things and be tilt-proof, but not like this, dude. What the fuck was that? You can go here, check, fork, take. Yeah, nice game, dude. Nice game. Like, what the fuck am I playing, bro? What the fuck is that, bro? Like, what he's... and I hate to accuse people of cheating. He's using the engine, so he pre-moved in such a way, and he would never expect me, or the engine would never expect me to make some of the clown moves I'm making, so therefore it can't predict them, and he's doing something totally different. What the fuck was that, dude? He started off with the Judith Polgar level offensive game, and then what happened? That's fine, that's fine. That's a blunder, but why is it a blunder? Because of this absurdly... I mean, it's a good move. I'm not going to discount it, but you would go here. But couldn't you still do the same thing? That's what I don't get. Okay, so I go here, but he can still do it. Why can't you still do it? What? Okay, so I do this, but so what, bro? Oh, it'd be a check, and then you could still do something about it. Or... No, you still can't do anything about it. What the fuck is going on? You're not actually in a bad spot, but this position is way beyond my comprehension capabilities. What the fuck are they doing? Like, they're just kind of leaving pieces hanging that could be taken. Like, I don't deserve credit for these games. This is what I don't like. I'm getting wins that I don't deserve, and I'm cheating death constantly, so I shouldn't push my luck. Like, that's definitely the last game. But I'm not too happy with my performance today because... Like, I don't get it, bro. Like, I love this. Even the move that it's telling me to do doesn't answer my question. It's like, oh, how do I solve this problem? Oh, right, you can't. Just play like a super GM and figure out what the fuck the sequence of moves means. Because you're going like, of course, you take my rook, but like, okay, I get a pawn, I check, and I take this. So why can't you just take back? And then you could still... Oh, wait, what? Wait, why does that change anything? Why couldn't you have done that in the first place then? Oh, because the pawn is there. Oh my god. So because then that's not there, then you can use that to cover it, and then it would prevent it. But that's not even what you're trying to do, and you're winning even if you don't do that. I mean, look, dude. He deserved to win that. He played really well. He was doing crazy stuff. And let's see how long he even took there. He took like 9 seconds, though. Wait, what? He's 722 to 713. Or wait, no, that's mine. He just like pre-moved it. He's literally pre-moving engine moves, whether they're coming from his brain or not. I don't know. And Like, yeah, let's actually look at that again. Like, I'm not trying to say that. I hate to be salty that way, but the way that he did it and the speed with which he did it was utterly unbelievable. Like, I cannot deal with that kind of shit. But then again, speed shouldn't intimidate me because I can always take my time, and I always do that. Like, where I. So, I mean, these are the kind of things like, look, dude, I understand that people are going to say, and I mean, I see stuff like that all the time too, but I guess, you know what it is? It's so early in the game that you wouldn't expect something like that. Like, you see that with the queen later, like where I took the pawn in that other game and he couldn't take it because the bishop was there. Like, I get it. But this is an insane thing, okay? So, and especially with the speed with which he saw it. So, I mean, he's winning by quite a bit. And this is it. And he still didn't have to resign. Like, what is he down by? He's only down by 3. He's only -3 for all that sort of clown behavior. So, I mean, these are the moments that are going to happen. But again, I'm not happy about it. See, we're already on like a good win streak again. We're on a 4-game win streak. But if you really dissect it, you can really discredit it a little bit.